Morning, morning, morning. Morning, all. No, Roxanne, I did have a late night. I just came back from the gym. And yeah, so yeah, just waiting for this room to cool down here. So that's why. Yeah, I'm still rest straight from the gym, finish at one, and yeah, jump on here. Morning, 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 all. Um, Neil Francois, morning, sir, always present. Thank you for my brooms, Roxanne, Desmond Samuel, morning, Daniela Williams, morning, morning, Anna, Rookman Gangadine, morning, Rookman, Arlene Lewis, Lynette Harris, morning, Roxanne again, yes, Ruben Rogers, Leon Joseph, morning, Charmaine Superwell, morning to you guys, morning, Althea, Pauline, morning. Sheesh. Joycelyn Small White, morning. Annette Baird, Listra, Blake, morning. Morning, Carol. Morning, Diane. Kenneth Gabriel, morning. Rosemary Headley, good morning, Rosemary. Good morning to His Excellency, President of Pleasantville, and First Lady Marissa Keegan. Nigel is saying, we are live at lunch on Tuesday on the Laro Promenade. Oh, well, okay. Tuesday, live at lunch. All right. I'll try and see if I can make it. Yeah, I'll be in town on Tuesday. Dawn Khan, morning. Alison Boyce, morning. Annette, morning. Ruth, morning. Sarah Richards. William Joseph says, Toko in the house, morning to you, sir. Holly Legal, morning. Simdom 17, morning to you. Bernadette Yates. So I would like to go to the gym so late on a Sunday. Can we help this morning? Yeah. Right. So just now I'm gonna see something here. I'm expecting not to see a doubles and coffee on this issue. Maybe he woke up late this morning. Let's see. So you see this here. No, not yet. Not yet. Right, let me see what it says here. The truth is, I'm going to keep it especially. I'm fed up with these people, eh? So I'm now looking at Facebook here and I'm seeing Rhoda Barrett put out a post. Philip announces his departure from politics again. Philip Edward Alexander says, I've been trying to find the best way to say this, but they all end up too long-winded to say that I've decided to step away from active politics. The truth is I have run out of good reasons to keep at it, especially as most of those whose opinions I cherish and whose guidance I have relied on are no longer with us. My feelings, reasons, and opinions could fill books. Suffice it to say, I sincerely believe I've done all I can. It's time for new chapters. I walk away with clear conscience, knowing I remain true to whatever it was that I believed in at the start. It is important to me that I never compromised. Trinidad and Tobago, my prayers, love and best wishes remain with you. Right. Look, man, well, you're joking, yes? You have a whole party, you're kind of bacchanal, you're letting. Look, anyway, bunch of jokers. So, folks, what is on the menu for today? Let me pull up this thing. So, I'm going to touch on a couple of things this morning. So, first off, let me say Diwali greetings to the members of the Hindu community and all those who may be celebrating with them today. As they say, Shubh Diwali. I think we're expecting some rain today. In fact, I think I hear the weather forecasters say that it's looking to be, certain parts of the country, to be a rainy day. So there may not be as many days as we've seen in the past. So we'll see how that goes. But the leader of the opposition was a featured speaker at the Diwali Nangar a couple nights ago. And the reception that she got was a far cry from what they had wanted. In fact, my understanding is based on what I read, was that there were certain members in the UNC hierarchy who are part of Mrs. Prasad-Bissasa's inner circle who had made a request of the NCIC to, for this grand welcome for Mrs. Prasad-Bissasa, that she be treated like a queen on the night that she was supposed to come and speak. And the Mahasabha, I understand, was having none of it. The NCIC was having none of it. They tell them, live here, what if all you want to have all your grand thing? No problem. Well, you could organize a whole TASA group, a whole panside for when she come in. And all you could hire Alus and somebody else to sing She's Royal. If all you want, all you could dress up in red and lie down on the ground and make a red carpet so she could walk on your back all the way up to the stage. You all can do that, but we will not be part of that. And so they tried as best they could. I understand they had whole TASA side and something, but as Mrs. Prasad-Bissasa would have been driving in, certainly she would not have been pleased with the sight that met her. There were a number of protesters with signs calling for her to go, persons condemning her for disrespecting the Hindu community, persons telling her it's time for her to step down. There were signs talking about how many elections she had lost and how she is a weight on the party, a millstone around the party's neck, and she needs to go. And certainly, I also read where I think the member of parliament, is what I read, for Kuba North would have attempted to reason with the protesters, and he was told, allegedly, we do not speak to human traffickers. Go from here. Yeah? And then she proceeded to go on stage to give her speech. And I don't know if it is she didn't get the memo that this wasn't a Monday night forum. During her speech, she's talking about light it up and the ideas, and I don't know if she found that was cheeky, if she found that was funny, or she probably felt that everybody there supports the UNC, perhaps because they are East Indian. So operating under this misguided notion that every East Indian in Trinidad and Tobago is a supporter of the UNC. I'm sure there were persons there of East Indian descent who do not support Mrs. Prasad-Bissasa, who do not support the UNC, and would have been there for the purpose of the event, not to see her. Right? But apparently she didn't get that memo. So after you finish talk your talk, you invite the members of your party, your executive and so on, to come up on stage, which was not part of the people's agenda for the evening, right? That was not part of the program. So they're working with a tight schedule. Okay, Mrs. Prasad-Bissasa speak for 15 or 20 minutes as the case may be. Thank her, she leaves the stage, and then whoever else come on, because, But you want to have a whole papi show, because you figure everybody there is UNC. Like that was a UNC convention. You invite members of your Tim Gopi Singh and Padarat and the rest of them to come up on stage, so you can have a photo opportunity. Well, they ask permission for that, but you come to hijack the people and them thing. And they had to embarrass you off the stage, tell you thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. The only thing the announcer didn't say was, okay, please leave stage, exit left, and don't come back up. How embarrassing. What an embarrassment that the leader of the opposition would sing solo. And I'm sure she had supporters there who felt that was in very poor taste. You could see the embarrassment on the face of the members who she invited to come up on stage with her to take her photo. Because when the announcer told them, okay, you okay, thank you so much. Okay, can leave now. If you see them, they're expecting an applause. They probably get 2 weak applause. 2 people in the audience probably feel bad and say, oh, you get them a little something. And they get 2 weak applause, and now if you see them. All right, come up the stage now. You see enough fall here. Yeah? A bunch of worthless anyway. Come off. Well, man, I'll pull this up here. I just want to see she's proud of what she did and what she said. Let me get it there. Let's see which phone connected to this thing here. This one. Make sure it's correct. It's not. So I need to turn off this. Turn off this one. Right. So let me just get this here. Give me 1 second. So many things. Come up with some pieces. Where is she? She fall off the list, right? Okay, all right. There we go. Dragging poor Greg around like a raggedy doll. Greg could hardly walk himself. Two of them looking like they need a wheelchair. Like this woman boy. Putting me through all of this stress. Let me see if I get this here.
We go out on Diwali night. Prepare your diyas and then light up those diyas. Light them up for this Diwali. I wish you all a truly blessed Diwali. This Diwali, let your light shine. Light up those diyas, light them up bright so we can dispel the darkness. May your families and loved ones always be blessed by a great mother's compassion and goodness. Jai Dharti Mata, Jai Mother Lakshmi, and
but you see the light them up thing. We know what that was about. The mantra throughout the election was light them up, load up the matic, cock it back, empty it on them, light up the criminals. That was so you come with this same light up, chop and talk again, and the people and them think no respect. Oh gosh, no time and place. Time and place for these things, Mrs. Prasad says. I'm sure there were people there who did not appreciate the little innuendo and so on. But come now, man, behave yourself now. You're too old for that. You're too old for that. It's a religious thing. Behave yourself. Let me see if I get the other one, huh? Just now. Right. Just get this here. Right. Where it is. Yeah.
We say thank you to the leader of the opposition and her team for joining us this evening. Thank you all so much. So now let's give them a hand as they make their way back to their seats.
It's the announcer's face, right? When she had to ask them to make your way back to your seats because like they forget where they were. And for those of us who would have seen the video, it's on UNC Cabal's Facebook page. You see the embarrassment on their face when they didn't get the welcome that they thought they would have gotten, right? So from outside, you have people, protesters, with the placards, the signs, and all of these different things, telling her it's time to go, time to rest, put somebody else, and then you're going up on stage to make a scene. Anyway, we expected that, but it's all good. Two things I wanted to touch on this morning. I want to touch on Ralph Maraj's article. But before I go there, the other thing I want to deal with is Mr. Inshan Ishmael, who continues his campaign and his foolishness with respect to putting up this guard booth in Bamboo. Right? Let me get this here. Where is he? Mr. Figure that he is Lord of Lords and Master of all he surveys. So let me just play a little bit of this, his continued disrespect to the Prime Minister.
Nagar here. This is the road. This is the road by the Nagar here, by Baraka grounds. I am shocked that there is little or no traffic here to actually get into the Nagar. This road is normally packed. Apparently, people realize that Rowley coming, and apparently they decide to stay home because people, I mean, it's canty on this road, and this is the last day when you would expect it real busy. I'm talking about everybody on the road, right? I mean, shock. Somebody explain this to me.
Yeah, so people hear Rowley coming, so that's why they didn't turn up at the Nagar for the last night, right? Every little thing this man had to find a way to malign the Prime Minister. You're doing your life, okay, you're fine. You ain't seen a lot of people. You ain't seen the long line of cars, the traffic that you would normally see. Well, all right, do your investigation, but you feel to do a live and bring the Prime Minister into your foolishness to talk about, well, people hear Rowley coming, so they don't want, well, where were you, was it Thursday night or Wednesday night when Mrs. Pasabi's sister was there? and all the people who were the placards, clearly, they didn't want to hear what she had to say. They weren't interested in her coming, but you didn't do no live, because I'm sure he was at Baraka grounds that night. I am certain he would have seen the crowds there, persons, the protesters, but he didn't see it fit to go and record that and talk about that, right? To highlight to people, look what is happening. People are displeased with the leader of the opposition. No, because when you want to get the PNM out, the only alternative, or the main alternative that there is, unfortunately, to the PNM is the UNC. And I don't know what he expects, because, I mean, Gary, who he supports, NTA, is a part of that unholy alliance. So, therefore, it stands to reason, since you're in with Gary, you're so hate, you can't stand Kamla, and you can't stand Khadija, and this one and that one, but you're still foot on foot with Gary, yeah? And finding ways always to attack the Prime Minister in his stupidness. So, you put out that. But apparently, what you see, I always say, money don't buy sense. Because there are the persons who responded to him in the comments. People were saying, some of them, people busy cleaning up and preparing food. Because there's no fireworks show tonight. Another person says no fireworks. Other persons have said again, no fireworks. That usually does be the main attraction for the last night. Okay. Another one says, but Inshan, you said up front that you can only accommodate limited parking tonight. The people take in front before in front take them. Somebody else says people stay home to prepare for tomorrow. Another one says, well, people don't want all the blight on them to bring in the Diwali. Another one says, well, this one disrespectful. Oh my God, you people, right? This person says, you people not easy. The man trying to show respect to the Hindu community, and that is what you have to say. Well, one person, this is Meeti Raghunath, who had to put him in his place. But there were a few disrespectful ones who supported his nonsense, maligning the Prime Minister and so on. One said, what he coming there for? To see who's suffering. Another one says, Rowley's a big blight. Just now. Somebody says, things hard, or is he really visiting tonight? I'm not aware that the Prime Minister went to that. But anyway. But he puts up these posts to encourage people into disrespecting the Prime Minister. That is what he always does. He calls the Prime Minister Cornholio, Lalpagar, Gadaha, you name it. All kind of derogatory, nasty names that he could come up with for a big man who fancies himself to be the mouthpiece of the Muslim community. But when you listen to the recent videos that he would have posted up with respect to this guard booth and the woman who he says reported him to the corporation, reported him to the Ministry of Works, and talking about how the woman's so ugly and her teeth and all kind of thing. Rhoda Bharat decided to comment on the issue. And he went after Rhoda with the same nonsense about ugly and how they're ugly and they're so ugly and all of this kind of foolishness. And I am asking, for the persons listening who are Muslims, is this how Muslims are supposed to behave? Is this how the Quran advises you all to behave? The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is this how he would have encouraged people to behave? This man who always criticizing other Muslims, senior Muslim clerics and so on. And this is the nastiness that comes out of his mouth. But as scripture says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Right? Scripture also tells you, when you're giving, the left hand mustn't know what the right hand doing. Right? So it's not to give and with a big show. So you're going and help people and you work with a whole camera crew. You need to do a selfie and take out photos and videos and so on. So you could post up on social media to say, look how we're helping the poor. In his case, look how we're helping them African and them PNN. Right? Love to talk about how many Africans he helped. I ask him, is this what Islam teaches? This man is disrespectful, he is uncouth, he is low, he is crass. But people continue to support him in his foolishness. You know why? Because Inshan does help people. Yeah, Inshan does, you know how much people Inshan does help? You know what COVID, you know how much people Inshan give hamper? But in his quest to continue to push this foolishness with his guard booth and he's not getting the level of support he thought he would have gotten because he's getting plenty backlash. People telling him he's foolishness by the behavior and talking about PNM and PNM. As he put up a post, he will take down the guard when PNM people start paying HDC their rent. What does that have to do with? And apparently it's only PNM people not that in arrears in terms of their rent to HDC. Nobody else. So when you do that, I don't know if it is he working HDC, so he could come and tell you absolutely, or when it is you apply for an HDC house, I don't know if on the application form it has a section that has political affiliation, or please include a picture of your party card with the application. And if you're a PNM, you will get through. But this is the narrative that they like to push, right? But he's not getting the support that he's looking for. So when he put up the first video the other day, he said when the Ministry of Works police came, they gave him a citation telling him he cannot put up anything there to vend. He can't put up a structure to vend. And he's telling them this is not for vending, as the case may be. So to bolster his point and to continue to behave like a petulant little child, he decides to go and take out pictures of other places where they have up illegal structures, concrete structures in some cases, to vend. And where did he go? He decided to go outside Mount Hope Hospital. Between the entrance to the main hospital and the maternity hospital, you know, on the right-hand side of the road, you have some structures there where you have persons who have been vending for a number of years. A number of years. I know I could speak for at least since 2016 or so. I know some of those vendors have been there. On both sides of the road, in fact. And in the morning time, lunchtime around there, you will see the vans park up with people selling doubles and sahina and all of the different Indian delicacies and so on. And on the right-hand side, you have the more permanent structures. People selling the drinks. You might get your beef pie, your fish pie. Let's say that you want water or something, juice. You know, you're making your way to the hospital, whether it's to the main hospital or the maternity ward, you're running late and you need to pick up something. The person tell you, well, when you come and bring 2 bottles of water for me now, or bring some juice, orchard or something for me. You know, you can stop off right there and go by the people and buy what it is to go and visit your loved one. Right? To bolster his idiotic case, he decides to go and take pictures of these and video footage and pictures of these vendors to say that the Tunapuna Piarco Regional Corporation harassing him, but they're allowing these people to vend and then telling him he can't put up a structure to vend in bamboo there, but they're allowing these people, right? These people who have been there for years. That is how they earn a living. That's how they've been paying their bills. They've been providing for their families. They're not depending on the government for any food card or any handouts or any grants. What they've been doing, they come in there every day, setting up applying the trade, selling whatever it is they have to sell, making their money, and they're not harassing anybody. In fact, they're not even obstructing the free flow of traffic, because you could pull aside in front of any of these structures to buy what you want, and it have enough space between them and the road that you could pull up with your car, and people who are driving in could do so unfettered. For years, nobody had an issue with these vendors. For years, nobody. I am certain he would have gone to the hospital probably on maybe 1 or 2 occasions, probably to visit somebody, and would have seen these vendors there. Because the fact that he knew that they were there to go and take pictures says that he's aware they've been there. So for the number of years that they've been there, he had no issue. He didn't see the need to go and take issue with them and take pictures and call out the Tunapuna Piarco Regional Corporation. But because he wanted to engage in his foolishness now, you're going to put the spotlight on these people to tell the Tunapuna Piarco Regional Corporation, well, if Wale don't want me to put up my structure, well, then you all need to get rid of these people here because they set up these illegal structures. Do they have permission so to do? So you decide to satisfy your ego, you need to jeopardize these people's means of putting food on the table, sending the children to school in some cases and paying their bills. And to him, that making sense. That making sense. But he didn't see it fit. He didn't need to go all the way to Mount Hope, right? Because to go to Mount Hope, he had to come out from Bamboo, swing left, drive straight down, go over the interchange, and then head north past the roundabout by Lockjack there, and then go through the back by Tiantet and go through the back entrance of Mount Hope and then to come out through the front to be able to go there to take pictures and videos of these people, right? Unless he has a bus route pass, come down the bus route and swing. But anyway, he didn't need to go that far. All he had to do was to take a 5-minute drive or less, swing out Bamboo, same thing, go through Grand Bazaar, right? Come around there and go down to Bamboo number 3. After you pass the first entrance to Grand Bazaar, at least, but the first entrance down there by the roundabout, when you come off the Arangwes, the interchange there, to go back out on the highway and go to Bamboo number 3, that whole stretch of road that leads you back out onto the highway. A number of concrete structures there where they're selling all kind of food. I want to know, those people there, they have permission from the Tunapuna Piarco Regional Corporation? Why didn't go there instead? In Curep, they say some Muslim family was there and they moved them and then somebody else come and set up shop. All to Curep, you know, but up to now we can't reach Bamboo number 3 yet. Can't reach Bamboo number 3 yet to go and take out pictures there to question that. And maybe it is because the vendors in Mount Hope satisfy the one criteria that he uses to determine who is PNM and who is not. When you look at that and go there and look at the vendors who outside Mount Hope Hospital, and you will see, if you don't know, yes, you know. Go and look at them and you will see what is the one common characteristic all of them have in common. Let's see. And tell me, so maybe, so you saw it fit over there. So if it is Tunapuna Piarco Regional Corporation or whoever, they come now and tell these people, well, here what they need to mosey on. We're going to demolish these structures. And how it hang, it swing, how will they make a living is not our business. We don't care about that. He's going to come and play Knight in Shining Armor now and run in with hampers and say, well, look, I'm sorry, or it wasn't my intention. That wasn't my intention to have your structures demolished. It was just to highlight inequality. And I was simply saying to the Tunapuna Piarco Regional Corporation, well, if you all can allow this, while they can't allow me. But as I said, why is it he didn't go to Bamboo number 3? Maybe when you go to Bamboo number 3, you would see and got a lot of these establishments, and we would see what maybe was the common difference between the folks running those businesses and the folks running the businesses by Mount Hope. Right? So you could come and say, well, I'm helping the African and them. Yeah, but you have no problem jeopardizing their means of living, or providing for themselves. So maybe you want them to come and line up after they tear down the structures, to come and line up in front ROC, come and line up in front IBN, and say, we come to see Mr. Inshan. We're looking for help. Yeah, we're looking for help. So maybe he could give us a hamper or something, organize something for us now, so that he could, again, add to his tally and see how many persons of African descent he helped, which he seems to love to do. And there's ample, there's more than enough evidence on his Facebook page, a post that he has put up, talking about every time somebody accuses him of being a racist, how much Africans he helped. You know, it's like those persons in the US, white people, when you accuse them of racism, they say, I'm not racist. I have black friends. Look, my children have black friends. My husband has black friends. I have black co-workers, and we get along well, so I'm not racist. I just asking the question. When you're going and take the pictures of Bamboo number 3, Mr. Ishmael, or is it that the people there are your friends, so it's okay? And a problem with them. You're cool. They can continue to operate their businesses, right? They could continue to run their businesses unbothered and unfettered and make money and provide for their families. But you see the people up by Mount Hope, you can cater for them. Because you see, the hospital that you all putting up there in Baraka grounds, so I suppose when it's completed, and most likely it's probably going to be a paid for hospital. So you had to swipe your card as the case may be. So certain persons of a certain ilk will go there. So, you know, he probably not going to be using Mount Hope Hospital if he probably doesn't even do so now. You know, because that's probably beneath him. Yeah, he has so much money. Driving Range Rover and the like and whatnot. He's a big tanto. So for the poor, he couldn't care less if the less fortunate persons in society who appreciate these vendors and the service that they offer. If it is the canteen in the hospital a little too expensive, right? And your dollar could stretch a little more outside the hospital. No care and regard for those people. No care and regard for those persons. Yeah? So if it is you're feeling a little hungry, you don't have to go all the way in the hospital canteen. You could stop out right there. The workers, employees, persons around the area, right, who might be working, even the hospital workers and so on, who might say, well, you know what, let me just go right outside and grab 2 pies or some water, a juice, something. a feeling for a current roll. Let me run outside and just get 2 currents roll, a pack of nuts or something, and give support to these people so that they don't have to be dependent on the government for support. He don't care about that. He don't care about that. I want to put up my guard boot, and if it is not going to allow me because they say it's an illegal structure and it's a concrete structure, but I am going to highlight the structures that they have allowed to go up and they're not bothering these people. Who your guard boot helping? Who your guard boot helping? What service it providing and for whom? Other than the so-called 100% of the villagers who say they want it. How that paying for? Everybody contributing, or you building it out of your own pocket again to beat your chest because you want to be the mayor of Bamboo number 2. And you feel what? That by putting up a guard booth and you have 24/7 security, that's going to protect you all? If it is that the would-be criminals coming to extort money or to rob, what you feel going to happen? The first bullet, the first person to get licked up is the security guard. He first. And look how far the guard booth is from being within earshot of the nearest house or business place. So if 1 o'clock in the morning they decide that they want to come and rob the place or hold up a family or something, when they lick up that security guard, nobody in here. When he collect 2 shots, nobody in here. When he's sleeping on himself in the morning and they sneak up on him, if he have a firearm and they relieve him of it and put 2 cap in the backside and then proceed to come and do what they have to do, who that helping? Are you going to pay the family of this security guard? Or you say, well, the security company is supposed to have coverage for that. He died in the line of duty, so they're supposed to have some kind of insurance. So we will just offer a return and words of sympathy and condolences. And then use that to highlight the state of crime in the country. And Heinz must go. As if, because I am not aware that the criminals just work between 8 to 4 and 9 to 5. So that in nighttime you're safe. Not that I'm aware of. Right? But that is the be all and end all. So put up a guard booth and we will decide who coming into Bamboo. We will regulate that. We will make that decision. So no longer you could just go in there. So you come in to see a friend, you have to stop and whatnot and all of these different things. Yeah? So he must control the shots because he is the great Inshan. The great Inshan. But see, all of you all would like to praise this man for all the good things that he does. He does help people. He always helping people. Yeah, but what is the motive for helping? As I said before, scripture said the left hand must know what the right hand doing. So when the right hand dip in pocket to take out a $2 or $5 or $10 to give somebody, the left hand must know. But this is how his hands must be going holding. They fighting. Yeah? The left fighting the right to see who give more money and who help more Africans today. Why I help 10 Africans today? Yeah, I help 15. Yeah, but how you help them? I get them a job. They get a hamper. Will I give them some money? Right. And that's how they go. No, I help more. And I help more. Both his hands fighting. Whole day. How many people he helped? Yeah? Show me a post he put up where he talk about how many East Indians he sent. And I don't like to go down the race road. But you see, when these guys come up with their foolishness, all of the posts that I have seen, where he put up about how he helped, every time he's accused of being a racist, he always has to talk about how many Africans he helped. So he said that's what he'll be looking at. I help people all the time. I can't remember. It could be a what race. It doesn't matter to me. It does not matter to me. I'm not keeping census. I have a little black book, all right? Today I helped 2 East Indians. Today I helped 3 Africans, right? Today I help a Dogla and Tikin. And then at the end of the day, what I have a sheet. I put up, well, right? To this date, right? And then at the end of the month, I do a tally. How many persons of East Indian descent did I help this month? How many persons of African descent did I help this month? And this man is a Muslim. A Muslim and giving arms, and that's how you behave. Eh? You want to put up a boot. Put up a boot in front of ROC. Put up a boot in front of IBN. That's your place. You could do that there. This is the public road. That's not your right. Talking about you want to file injunction and all kind of stupidness and whatnot. As if. Yeah, your lawyer damn right to tell you you would succeed with that and take your money. Too damn stupid. But he have support for that, eh? Plenty support for that. People encouraging him. But he can't mix for it too, eh? So that is what he has resorted to now. Since if you believe that you're in the right and you could make headway in the court, well then why you have to be going to be exposing people who just trying to make an honest dollar? You who always talking about how people suffering under the PNM and people struggling and poor people in this country and they don't know how they live in and they don't know this and they don't know that. But doing things to jeopardize these people who have been making an honest living. Not humbugging anybody, not obstructing anybody, they're not asking nobody for nothing. When they come in the morning, they set up their stuff, open for business, come and support. I have had some food from some of these people. Very tasty things. And on occasion, when my brother was in Mount Hope Hospital and I would go there to visit sometimes, he called me and he say, when you come in, get to buy some money when you come in. And I stop right there and I patronize and I pick up a bottle of water, whatever it is you need. Instead of going to the canteen, sometimes you go in there long lines and their prices are a little higher than what the guys also. I prefer to give my business to these persons outside. Right? I prefer to give it to them who come in there, and I appreciate the fact that they're making a concerted effort to live honestly. They're not trying to rob nobody. They're not trying to steal from anybody. They're just offering a good service to the members of the public. But you now come to jeopardize the people to take picture and video to put up and get people to talk up a nonsense. Yes, Inshan, you're doing good. Yeah. Light them up. Show them up. You actually have, and these same people who supported him in this foolishness, when it is, if they come and destroy these people's structures, now we're going to hear them, the government wicked. They wicked, but only supporting the man who highlighting and who calling for that to happen. Instead of telling him he on nonsense and go so with your foolishness, you're all encouraging him in his slackness. Yeah? Who talking for them? They continue to do their business, and hopefully Tunapuna Piarco Regional Corporation will see through his foolishness and just ignore him with his nonsense. And anytime he continues to put up that structure, do what it is that you all have to do within legal means. Break it down. He gone and pull up an article from a few months ago when the residents of Valsine North, I think it was, put up a guard booth and saying, look, guard booth in Valsine North with complete with electricity connection and so on. The guard booth in Valsine North is a little booth, nothing the likes of what he is proposing to put up in bamboo, right? It is a little fabricated booth made out of fiberglass, and it is mobile. You could lift it up and put it on the back of a truck and get rid of it in a moment's notice, if it has to go. It is not a permanent structure that is affixed. So it is there. Yes, there's an electricity connection, but it is not operated. There is no barrier. So you could drive inside there and drive out as you please. You don't have to stop and tell security are going to Gilwell Road or any of the, what's this other place, boy, Mayfield Road or anything, or going to Windsor Road as the case may be, or going by this one, and security had to pick up phone and call. It has somebody out there by the name of so-and-so. Right? Yeah, go ahead, send them in. They don't have to do that. As a matter of fact, it's not even manned. I don't think that was ever operationalized, because the newspaper article and the story that was carried in the news, where they interviewed the then head of the corporation, Kwesi Robinson, where he said that a petition, they did receive a request from the residents and it is being considered by council. And council will make a final decision. You see, they went through the proper channels. They didn't take it upon themselves to say, all right, we just going to do it because 100% of the residents say they want it. In fact, they would probably have more reason or more right to do that than him. Because for the most part, Valsine North, Valsine South, for the most part, is residential. For the most part. Bamboo number 2 is heavily commercial. So you're trying to tell me if it is I need to get a part for my car, I had to stop by security and tell them where I go and I go by Bobby's or whoever it is and whatnot. I don't want to tell them my business. What the hell I stop it? Why I had to do that for? He own the road? You have a deed for that? But people will encourage him in his nonsense. My money, never in a million, can't get my money. I don't support that. Right? And to the vendors there, who this man trying to obstruct while you're living, your means of earning, don't study. He's a clown. And to everybody who supported him in that foolishness and sharing that nonsense, yeah, all you like that circus. I want to play something else for you, right? But I know whenever I say indulge me, who it is I go in and play. Forgive me, please. I know they don't like to hear him. I don't like to hear him either. But sometimes you need to light them up. Let me get this one here. Forgive me. Asking for permission in advance. It must have been a slow day for him. in terms of things for him to talk about, right?
Newsday and the help of the mass media. So I am not doubles and coffee. Newsday. Indian Arrival Day, Diwali, the Festival of Lights, an entire season and preparation from Ramleela comes right up. Front page of your newspaper celebrating Indian Arrival Day in 2023, and Indian Arrival Day done gone already for 2023. Newsday that is so disrespectful, so disdainful, so disgusting, so nasty, so pathetic, that if every single one of you all from editor come down are not fired immediately, that newspaper will cease to exist, because every right-thinking Trinbagonian who loves our culture, who loves the tapestry that makes us uniquely Trinidadian and Tobagonian, that we love and respect all ethnicities, all religions, all practices, all people. A national newspaper, Indian Arrival Day, all you had to choose a picture because it is Diwali, because that is the most important aspect of life in Trinidad. You choose a picture, you take your time to write and type up the print. Somebody had to write it and read it. Somebody had to read it and vet it. Somebody had to approve it, put it on a front page, set up the front page, design with logo, price, date, everything, and allow that to go to print. Well, you all are down from a high of 49,000 copies down to 8,000. So print 10,000 copies and send out the Indian Arrival Day. You all have no shame, but I am not shocked. Because the reason you all have gone down from 49,000 papers at your height when you were fair, responsible, and showed no political bias. And in Trinidad and Tobago, since the advent of Keith Rowley, political bias means ethnic bias. It means geographical discrimination. It means religious persecution and religious disrespect for the last 8 years of Keith Rowley. Whether it's open fire cremation ban without science, whether it is Southland flooding out and Rowley driving past every citizen in the central and south and going to a C3 mall to line with rich people, whether it is the geographical discrimination by suffering local government bodies that are not held by the PNM, Rowley has divided this.
So Newsday put out a post, right? Front page, they put a picture talking about Diwali, whatever it is, and made a mistake to put that the young man in the picture, they light India's for Indian Arrival Day, instead of putting for Diwali. But somehow leave it up to this clown to find a way to link that with discrimination and claim discrimination on the part of Dr. Rowley and his administration. As I said, it must have been a slow news day for him. There was nothing that he could have spoken about directly involving Dr. Rowley. So you use this Newsday faux pas, which to my mind was much ado about nothing. They make these errors all the time. Sometimes they put up pictures of people and put the wrong name and all of that. But he decided to come and do a whole doubles and coffee for 7 minutes to malign the Newsday and call for people to be fired. And if he, and this is the thing that's amazed me with him, you could come and do a doubles and coffee for 7+ minutes and call on persons on the Newsday to be fired and whatnot and all of these different things forthwith, because a simple error was made in terms of the holiday that was mentioned instead of Diwali. They said Indian Arrival Day, and that warrants people to lose their work and be fired with immediate effect, right? But this clown, his party has two people sitting, one man sitting in the lower house who is on fraud charges and $1 million bail. That doesn't warrant immediate resignation forthwith, and resignation of the person who put him there and the person who continues to have him serve in the capacity of chief whip. That doesn't call for immediate resignation forthwith from that individual and the people who have him there. No, but we should fire everybody in the Newsday from captain to cook, because they made an error in the caption. Yeah, this is his logic. Another one, under investigation for human trafficking and prostitution. That doesn't warrant immediate dismissal and firing and resignation. No, that is okay. We could keep that. That we could support. But a simple typographical error, no, that is unconscionable. That is reprehensible, right? That is egregious. And therefore, the board and everybody in the news, the management, should resign forthwith. That is the logic of this idiot, this clown on rollerblades, as Angie would say. Let me say morning to Angie. I ain't talk to Angie in a while. Right? You have another one fired from 2 public utility companies. 2. Sitting as the member of parliament for Caroni Central. That doesn't warrant immediate resignation. Yeah? But a typographical error, that warrants immediate resignation of the whole board and everybody in Newsday. You have a councillor who is under police investigation on gun-related issues. You have another one who is accused of trying to groom young boys, teenage boys, but that doesn't warrant immediate resignation. No, that is okay. We can support that. But a typographical error on the front page, oh Lord Father, the whole sky falling down. This cannot be well, I'm at a loss for words. This is a national embarrassment. Yeah? On a global scale. This calls for everybody in the Newsday, from the chairman, the managing director, CEO, everybody must be fired for this typographical error. That's his logic. His logic. Right? You have a man who's sitting as the member of parliament for Princess Town. Who can't remember why he gave the leader of the party, then Prime Minister, 2 checks totaling 135,000. He can't remember. That doesn't warrant firing. That doesn't warrant resignation. Nope, that's quite all right. That is quite all right. We have no problems with that. But typographical error, yeah. Oh yes, we need to fire people. You're a clown. And this is what represents the US. But again, it's how you try to tie in the Prime Minister about discrimination and all this kind of foolishness. Really? Everything that comes out of this man's mouth is race and discrimination. But always accusing the PNM of race baiting. Every opportunity he gets, whether in the house, outside the house, wherever, doubles and coffee, Doglaya politics, everything is about race and race and race. But I'm always accusing the PNM of trying to divide the population along racial lines. Well, you need to check on yourself and see really and truly who it is responsible for that. But they wouldn't call him out on that, you know. This foolishness that these people support, the nonsense that they continue to support. I'm telling you, they're the alternative government. Put them back in office in 2025 and Trinidad and Tobago will be a veritable utopia. Everything will be perfect again. Yeah? The price of food will just fall automatically, overnight. As soon as the EBC makes the announcement of the election results and the UNC is declared to be the winner, the next day when you go in the grocery, what is this? Price of everything fall. You're wondering if you're back in 1940. Prices will fall so low. The next day, you see that? Police will hold a press conference to say, well, we had a long line of criminals who showed up outside the various police stations across the country this morning to lay down their arms. Yes, we received 10,000 firearms this morning, and we throughout the day, we have a steady flow of criminals who continue to bring in firearms, and so on. Persons are turning themselves in for a variety of crimes, and it is inexplicable. Inexplicable. As soon as the UNC was announced as the winner, they haven't even, in fact, Mrs. Prasad Bisesa hasn't been sworn in yet as Prime Minister. But the fact that they have won has put the fear of God in the hearts and minds of all criminals, and they have now decided that they wanted to turn themselves in. We are reporting that churches throughout the country and different religious organizations are reporting persons coming to them in droves, indicating that they're ready to give up their life of crime and they want to turn to the Lord. Yeah, that's what's going to happen overnight. That is what the only thing I find to talk about. Let me tell you something happened that he didn't see it fit to speak about. That is it. And I'm not surprised he didn't speak about it either. They won't talk about that. Let me get it right. Where is it? saw this here. Let me get it here. Just 1 second. There's so many things I keep. All right. You all may have seen a recent article. 825 young people graduated from the Civilian Conservation Corps. Let me see. Let me pull up this article here. Where is it? Right. This article, Murder Teen's Mom. Yes, no. It's a video. I don't want the video. Right. Yesterday was a joyous occasion for 825 young men and women at the Northern Academy for Performing Arts, NAPA, as they received their diplomas from the Civilian Conservation Corps following their 10-month program. During this time, they were exposed to various vocational training programs from hairstyling and barbering to welding and masonry. But the cheers of the graduates turned to respectful silence when they remembered that Keelan was not there to share in his experience. His mother, Carrie Ann Jacob, took to the podium to pay tribute to the 18-year-old son who was shot dead in July after leaving his home to deliver food. So the mother went on to talk about, the circumstances and encourage young people. Following her passionate plea, Neziah Thomas, a CCC graduate, shared his story about his battle with overcoming crime and forging a new path for himself. He was the valedictorian. During the first week of the induction phase, a random search took place where I was found with marijuana in my book bag. I was taken to the office where the police got involved. I was then taken to the Arima police station where I was charged with trafficking on a school compound, Thomas said, taking a moment to compose himself. I spent an entire day and night in the holding cell. While in the holding cell, I started to plead with God for a second chance and to find myself back on the right path. I hope you all are listening because your mistake may not turn out as good as mine did, Thomas told his fellow classmates. Thomas said his father pleaded with the CCC to re-enroll him into the program, and he said on his return, he did not only focus on his automotive technology training, but took part in the CCC's Calypso and Old Mass competition, placing 3rd and 1st respectively. He also completed his 150 hours of court-ordered community service on November 8. And last but not least, I want to thank me. I want to thank me for believing in me. I want to thank me for being the most improved student in CCC. I want to thank me for making the sacrifices that were necessary, and from this day forward, I will be a success, Thomas said to tumultuous applause. Somebody need to send this article to Mutt and Jeff on that evening program on that radio station, right? Because for them, there is no hope and opportunity for young people in Trinidad and Tobago. None. Only a life of crime, and especially if you come from a single parent home, well, crap or smoke your pipe. But Mr. Roberts didn't see it fit to do a doubles and coffee to congratulate this 825 young people who for the last 10 months, rather than sitting down on the block looking to smoke weed, rather than sitting down on the block and complaining about it have no opportunities for them, and the government don't care about black people, and the government don't care about the youth, and it had nothing for the youth, and what we go do, oh God, what we go do? These people decided to take up the opportunity. You hear the kind of courses that they did? Automotive technology, and so on, hairdressing, barbering, plumbing, you name it. A variety of courses. What interests you? Well, you come and learn a trade for the last 10 months, and I believe these things pay a stipend as well. So you know what? They are now equipped with a skill that they could go out there and start their own business. Yes, they could probably go and work for somebody too to earn additional income to start their own business, but at least they are now better skilled and better equipped to be able to start their own business. They could come together, a few of them who might have studied the same thing or 1 or 2 different courses and say, oh, let me start up our own business. We could offer 2 or 3 or 4 different services, come together, pool our resources. I don't have plenty money, you might have, but if we pool our resources, and we might have enough to be able to rent a space, and we could offer the services based on whatever it is that we just studied. Instead of, we have this certificate, we frame it and we put it up on the wall, and then we go and sit down home, this government buy. Nothing for the poor. They don't care about poor people. There's only sufferation for the African youth and the urban youth and the at-risk youth. While everybody else making money, the 1% making money, and the East Indian community making money, the African youth done nothing for we out there. Pressure. And all you have to do, turn on your radio station Monday to Friday from 4 to 7. And if you want support for that mindset, you're going to get it there. And then on a Saturday, turn on your radio station sometime around 12:30, and you're looking for support for that mindset, you could get it there. And if you're still looking for it, go and pull up Douglas Politics, Doubles and Coffee. You're looking for support for that mindset that is only sufferation and struggle for African youth in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, listen to Douglas Politics and you will get support for that. Or listen, try and see if you could pull up a past recording of the Monday Night Forum, and you will get support for that. Yeah? Or visit the Facebook page of any of the UNC members of parliament, and you could get support for that mindset. So don't make an effort. Yes? You're looking for support for your struggling mindset, you know where to go, where you could get it. But the government is saying to you, and this is 825. 10 months ago, I believe, there was another cohort, right? Another graduation ceremony, I think, was for 765 of them. So 825 plus 765 was 1,600 young people in the last almost 2 years. Under this administration, now have a skill, now have a certificate that says they are qualified to do all these things. They could fix your car, automotive technology, refrigeration, plumbing. They could fix your AC, right? 4 or 5 of them who might have done that could come together. You have so many air conditioning companies now with the hot sun being what it is. Everybody wants an AC unit. So they could come together now and say, well, right, well, we could provide, we may not be able to sell the AC units yet, but we could provide the service to service them in the first instance. And as we establish ourselves, we could probably go and get a little loan somewhere and see if we could start sourcing air conditioning units, because there is a market for that. Instead of you looking to go and work by Peaks or Clemens and Associates or Cool Air or one of these to collect a salary every month, right? With this skill that you would have gotten over the last 10 months with the assistance of the government of Trinidad and Tobago, you could start your own business, write your own paycheck. This is what the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service is telling you to do, and creating opportunities for the young people to do that. When I looked at CNC3 the other night, when they were showing a clip of the graduation ceremony, right? And I noticed these things are inescapable. As I said, I don't like to talk the race thing, but I noticed that a lot of the participants were persons of African descent, and that is good. That is very good. Because they're no longer buying into this narrative that if it is that you are of African descent and you're between 18 to 35, there is no hope for you in this country other than to pick up a gun and pull back a skull. Pick up a gun, sell drugs, sell weed, and engage in a life of crime. And just wait until the police engage you and then 600. It is good to see, and this is just CCC. You have NESC. And this other one I saw the other day with these young people, 11 of them, showing off pictures of, what is the name of that? I can't remember the name of that one. Jenny, help me. Because we had posted it up on the debunking page, where these 11 or 12 young persons highlighting culinary arts was one of the courses that they would have done, and showing off the cheesecakes that they would have made. Things that you would likely see in a showcase in maybe Adams or not even Linda's, and one of these high-end places that offer these things, right? Diane's tea shop or something. These are the skills that these young people have, and it's not just about getting these skills to go and work for people. It's about working for themselves. And I must say, and I commend the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service, the Ministry of Trade and Industry, who are focusing on entrepreneurship. And I heard the Minister of Trade and Industry mention it in her contribution to the budget. One entrepreneur in every household. At least one entrepreneur in every household in this country. That is what the government's primary focus is on. They believe that in every household in this country, you have somebody who has the capacity, the ability, and the wherewithal to start a business, to run a business, to grow a business, and build generational wealth. To serve as a mentor for other people, not just in the household, but in the community as well, to start your own business. And the government is providing you with the training, the resources, and the technical support to make your business a success. So we're setting aside, in the first instance, $24 million. And you're getting initially a grant of $20,000 to start off your business. But it's not to just come and take $20,000 and you're on your own. We will give you the technical support for about 18 months. So if it is you find the business struggling a little bit and you don't know why, come back in and we will discuss. We will look at what you're doing and give you that support and tell you, all right, change this. Do this. You need to make adjustments here because we want your business to succeed. Because we want you to be an employer and not an employee. But yes, you will have employees too, but you must serve as an example for your employees. When they see what it is you doing, they must say, I want to do it too. And start their own business. So when I read in Ralph Maraj's drivel this Sunday, entitled Orama, Remember TNT, and want to chastise and lambaste the government. And he always on this thing about diversification and no diversification taking place under this government for the last 8 years. Somebody needs to tell Ralph the cave, right, or the hole that he's living in South, he needs to come out from it once in a while and take off his bias glasses, right, that is extremely yellow. Just take it off for a moment and look around and see what is happening. That diversification is taking place without the government having to lead the thrust. That the manufacturing sector in Trinidad and Tobago is leading the way. We've seen a 54% increase in the manufacturing sector over the last couple of years. The government had nothing to do with that. The government didn't go and call all these businesses and say, hey, what now? They need to start to produce more. And you all need to open more businesses. No, these people decided on their own to do what it is that they needed to do to promote their businesses. Where Ralph living? Where Ralph living? It is the non-oil sector that is the major contributor now to the government's coffers in terms of revenue, not the energy sector. The energy sector may be the single largest, but in terms of overall contribution to the government's revenues is the non-oil sector. But apparently Ralph didn't get a memo. He ain't get that memo. So he rather to write doom and gloom in today's Express rather than put out an article commending these young people for choosing that path, because they could have easily chosen the other path that some of their colleagues have taken, right? They could have easily chosen that path. To say, well, I grew up in a single parent home and I drop out of school and they have no hope for me. So the only thing I need to do is to go and join a gang and pick up a gun and kill people and rob people and become a statistic, risk my life by invading homes, right? So that they could light me up as the opposition leader tell them to do. They could empty the clip on me, reload, and then empty it on me again. So make sure I'm dead. That is the only opportunity for me. No. The government of Trinidad and Tobago, led by Keith Rowley, is saying to young people, come. And we ain't just telling only come, get a certificate, and then fend for yourself after that. You know. They're saying, come. We will pay you. We will give you a stipend to make it worth your while, because we understand you need to pay passage to go to wherever it is you have to do the course, and then you need to pay passage to go back home, and you need to eat something too. And the household that you're living in may not be able to provide you with that. So the government will take up that responsibility. We will give you a stipend to assist you. But when you finish, we're not just telling you, hey, go off on your own and see how you could see what could happen. If you are minded to starting a business, we have come and sit down with us. We will help you draw up the business plan. We will give you a starter to get you off the ground. And then after that, if it is you need a further loan, you could go to Netco. We will train you in how to save so that you could get money from the credit. We will help you so you could go to the bank. Give you the technical expertise so that when it is you're going through the papers or you're going through Facebook or social media, what my neighbors is one of my neighbors saw it. He said at that time when it's only senior citizens that read papers, you know, he say giving away age. I said no, I'm practicing for when I become a senior citizen. Right? But it have things in the newspaper that we need to read to bring to the fore for the people to see and to understand. But Mr. Doubles and Coffee, he thought it fit to talk about a typographical error on the front page of the Newsday. When the same Newsday newspaper, I'm sure, would have carried an article and pictures speaking about this 825 young people who just graduated from CCC. It had CCC under them? Or the only thing they offered the young people under them was live sport. Come and learn maths and English. We're paying a man $34 million to teach all your maths and English. But we're not offering you the opportunity to become employable or to become self-employable, right? We're not offering you that opportunity to give you a skill. We are about creating 55,000 jobs. 55,000 jobs. Well, in one fell swoop, in 2 cycles, the PNM has created potentially 1,600 employers. 1,600 persons who now possess the wherewithal to be self-employed, who possess the wherewithal to assist in the diversification thrust of Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm sure we have another cycle going and start just now, and this is just CCC. We didn't talk about Homestead program and all of the other programs, the other 14 or 16 programs that the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service has on offer. We didn't talk that. But listen to Ralph Maraj. 2 lines of an ancient mantra from the Upanishads, heard always in Hindu worship and at Diwali. All right, well, I'm going to see. Well, you got to buy the papers to read that. It is a prayer asking God to lead us from untruth to truth, from darkness to light. Trinidad and Tobago needs this Diwali day and beyond. We have a prolonged deepening darkness in this country. And it emanates mainly from the top. Last week, I dealt with the Prime Minister abdicating responsibility to arrest the spreading social decay, root of the horrendous levels of crime in this country of 1.4 million people, over 4,000 murders in 8 years, a rate higher than New York City with 10 million people. And after 8 wasted years, notwithstanding hollow boasts and voluminous verbiage, we have ended up with our same old elementary, undiversified one-horse economy, which would have crashed for lack of new foreign revenue streams had Vladimir Putin not invaded Ukraine. So apparently, Mr. Maraj figured that the only way the economy of Trinidad and Tobago could survive is with foreign direct investment. Yet they came last month with a budget carrying a bogus theme, building capacity for diversification and growth, largely unrelated to the budget statement itself. Such downright dishonesty and shameless fraudulence, such contempt for the population. They really don't care about you folks. See the darkness? It is almost everywhere the upper echelons. The Court of Appeal ruled the JLSC chaired by Chief Justice Ivor Archie acted illegally and unconstitutionally when it forced former Chief Magistrate Marcia Ayers Caesar to resign as a High Court judge. Alarming. Was the Chief Justice breaking the law and violating the nation's constitution? Would this constitute misbehavior in office? Previously, based on advice from 2 regional senior and well-respected lawyers and supported by the appeal court judges, the Law Association recommended the Prime Minister invoke Section 137 of the Constitution for an independent tribunal to investigate possible misconduct in office by Archie. But Rowley went on the extreme offensive, thundering to the party faithful, I work for the people of TNT, I don't work for the Law Association. We will ignore them totally. And obviously, feeling protected, the Chief Justice himself went on the attack, sharing blows and licks for all. It was alarming. Here were 2 of the country's biggest cannons, Prime Minister and Chief Justice in apparent collusion, firing at the people whose democracy they had sworn to protect. A very dark day in this country's history. Archie is obligated to Rowley for not triggering that tribunal. Senior counsel joined the PM and the AG. The 3 firings simultaneously at DPP Roger Gaspard, senior counsel, who had warned our criminal justice system is crumbling from an acute and chronic staff shortage at his office. Scratching each other's back at the top? I asked. No separation of powers here. This is real darkness, people. Your democracy is in trouble. Remember the sacrilege when the Prime Minister visited President's house and derailed the constitutional process of sending the merit list of candidates for police commissioner to Parliament? He continues to push this idiocy at every turn. Remember the darkness of political incest in the election of the new president, a leading PNM politician nominated by a PNM Prime Minister and guaranteed selection in a farcical election by an electoral college dominated by a PNM majority. So if the UNC was in power and their choice was Israel Khan, who for years has been the personal lawyer of Kamla Prasad Visesa. Had no incest in that, Ralph. No incest in that. And so you would have support that. Well, yes, if they had put Israel Raja Khan as the president, if the UNC was in power, no incest there. That is a very good choice because why? Mr. Khan is a legal luminary and has shown himself to be an expert in the court. Yes, no incest there. The personal attorney of Mrs. Prasad Bisesa for many years. When it is that under them, you had a man who was working in the chambers of Mr. Israel Khan, working in the chambers of Mr. Khan as a principal. His name was on the letterhead of the chambers, was appointed the chairman of the Integrity Commission while the Integrity Commission was investigating Emailgate, of which Mr. Khan was representing the then Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Had no incest there, Mr. Maraj. You had no problems there with that. And, okay, that wasn't incestual. That was perfectly all right. No conflict of interest there. At no point in time, between the time Dr. Rowley made the revelations about Emailgate and when Mr. Zainul Hussain was appointed chairman of the Integrity Commission, we are to believe that no point in time while he was sitting in his office in the chambers, same chambers with Israel Khan, they had no discussion about Emailgate at all. None. He didn't have a personal opinion on the matter based on whatever he and Israel Khan would have spoken about or not spoken about. But that was perfectly all right. You didn't write no article about that. You had no problem with that. And remember the mysterious shutting down of Petrotrin, a living, working engine of the economy against the advice of international experts and the chairman and board, throwing 10,000 persons directly and indirectly on the breadline, spreading the darkness of unemployment and poverty throughout the land. Somebody needs to tell Ralph, he needs to write an article based on another thing that happened last week where Republic Bank announced $1.75 billion in profit. An increase, Ralph, an increase from last year. Last year, I think it was 1.5 billion. This year is 1.75 billion. Ralph, you have anything to say about that? And this economy that is on the brink, this economy that has crashed under the PNM, one bank was able to record $1.75 billion in profit. Profit, Ralph, in a struggling economy. Well, imagine if it is the economy was functioning well. I wonder how much they would have made. Could anybody tell me, between 2010 to 2015, did Republic Bank ever record that kind of profit? Between 2010 to 2015, when the economy was in tip-top shape, and it was perfect, and there was nothing wrong with the economy, foreign direct investment was flowing in here like water. Under Kamla Prasad Bisesa and Mr. Hawaii, everything was great. Republic Bank ever record that kind of profit? Maybe I missed it. Previous to the shutdown, we had the fake oil scandal involving A&B Oil and Gas Company, owned by the Prime Minister's close friend, allegedly invoicing Petrotrin for $84 million for oil inconsistent with volume received. But instead of appealing a questionable arbitration ruling that favored A&B, Petrotrin's successor, headed by Rowley's personal lawyer, agreed to pay $120 million to A&B and give the company a new 10-year production contract as settlement. Citizens looked on with disgust. $789 million in housing missing. $789 million in fake house. Bricks and mortar that we can't find. Ralph does not see it fit to write an article on that. He's not concerned about that. The fact that Rudal Munilal has said nothing, Julian John has said nothing, Kamla Prasad Bisesa has said nothing. In fact, not one member of the UNC has said one word on that revelation by the Minister of Housing, where that party is accused, right? $789 million spent in housing that cannot be found. The auditor, independent auditor, we can't even find one to say as a sample. For $180 million taken from NLCB. We don't know what the hell that is about. And the man who was at the helm at that time has said nothing. He has said many things in the public domain since then. He has hosted at least 2 of their wasted time press conferences and has not addressed that. In his typical characteristic obnoxious style, he has failed to get up in the parliament to speak on that, to refute what the minister has to say. That is a lie. That is untrue. This is where the houses are. $789 million, $789,000. $789 million in houses cannot be found. But Ralph sees it fit to come here and talk about AV drilling, 120 million, because as I always say under them, less is more. The people also saw a leading minister walking into a bank with 143,800 in cash, giving no verifiable explanation and still pontificating in public. But the bag tota, the handbag man, right? The handbag man deposited 2 checks totaling $135,000 into the account of the Prime Minister and can't remember what it for. The bag toting man, the handbag man, in 2011, he and his mommy opened a business, started a company, got millions of dollars in contracts from the state. They had no experience whatsoever in any business but getting contracts in which their bids were the highest, beating out companies with years of experience and whose bids were much lower. But yet still, they were able to get contracts totaling over $17 million from 2011 to 2015. Can't remember why he gave the Prime Minister $135,000. She, who is twice his age, she could remember and give you the most ridiculous cock and bull story. Ralph never write about that. Ralph is concerned about that. They know of sexual harassment allegations against a former minister with hush money paid by taxpayers' funds and a hidden report on the matter, but that gentleman was rewarded with a posting abroad. They recall with Rowley acting as housing minister for 4 months, 485 million state housing contract with a Chinese company and the suspected surreptitious attempt to prevent details of this deal becoming known. The project aborted when information was exposed. What a cabinet. Yes, what a cabinet. They could learn a thing or two from the PP cabinets. And Ralph? The best cabinet ever that this country has ever seen. And Ralph? A minister who was reportedly prohibited from registering for a master's degree program for plagiarism. An attorney general dissembled about his involvement in a high-profile case. A Miami court rejected his sworn affidavit and disqualified him from participation in the case, bringing great embarrassment to the nation. But his predecessor told us that when they came into office in 2015, they were advised by the attorneys representing the state in that matter that for 5 years, 3 months, and 14 days, they were trying to get instruction from the attorneys general who served in that government, Anand Ramlogan and Gavin Nicholas, as to how to proceed in that matter, which today, thanks to the efforts of this PNM and the same dissembled attorney general, we stand to get $1 billion in restitution. $1 billion in restitution, but for 5 years, 3 months, and 14 days, no effort was made whatsoever to proceed with this matter, resulting in a situation where the case could have been thrown out. And had this administration not come into office in 2015, that is likely to have happened. Ask Mrs. Prasad Bisesa, what happened between 2010 to 2015 to advance this case? Now I should tell you, well, they say we tried to throw the case, but we didn't try to do that. We got money, we got 18 million US dollars. And that was reported in the newspaper. So she said, the same Mrs. Prasad Bisesa who always liked to bring documents to show all look, put up thing on the big screen in the back. She couldn't bring the newspaper article where she claims it was reported that the government got 18 million US dollars. Couldn't find the article. You have the best research team in the whole of Trinidad and Tobago, but nobody could have provided one shred of evidence. Not an article, not a Facebook post, nothing to show. Well, look at here. Look, it was reported to the people. And she just said that on a Monday night forum, and she walked away. And of course, the journalists in this country, rather than hold that a book, to say, well, Mrs. Prasad Bisesa, which media house reported that? Because we have all done diligent searches of our archives, and none of us could find anywhere where that was reported. None of them may do that. But you know, they give her a free pass, as is always the case. Maybe Ralph, since he working for the Express, could ask the Express to go into their archives and he could do an article and show us where it was reported, according to Prasad Bisesa, that when they got the $18 million in restitution, the painting that ended up in Anand office, right? How it ended up there, we don't know. And as we must ask questions, what else did they get? in physical assets that we didn't know about. And we only find out about the painting in the office was when Faris became Attorney General, and he inquired about it, and he was told that was one of the many things that we got back as restitution for the Piarco Airport scandal. One of the many things that the men who these persons facilitated in robbing the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, the foreigners who are allowed to come here and rape our treasury. That was just one of the many things that we got back. But she say, Kamala say, right, that it was reported. But nobody could present any evidence, one shred, nothing. A document to show, yes, look at here. Ralph ain't gonna report about that. But he wanted to talk about the Miami case, but wouldn't speak about the fact that $1 billion in restitution was almost lost because that administration chose not to pursue the matter in favor of their friends, the financiers, who they facilitated Section 34 to enable them to be able to walk scot-free. No talk about that, but talking about what a cabinet. He goes on, and the darkness has been compounded by the language from the top, chronic, crass, arid, pedestrian, and completely bereft of inspiration. Small wonder we have no quality society and civilization here. Leaders have brought this nation deepening darkness. Lead us into the light, O Rama. Remember TNT this Diwali. But no mention of the Prime Minister in waiting. No mention of the government in waiting telling you about load up the matic. No mention about the party that fancies itself to be the government in waiting, petitioning the court to make murder a bailable offense. That almost weekly we read stories about persons who are out on bail for murder, being held or engaging on being held by the police or being killed by the police, having engaged the police after committing a fresh crime, having come out on bail. No talk from Ralph about that. Nothing wrong with that. Right? That is who we need to come back into office and serve as Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs. When they were in office, 2010 to 2015, Anand didn't see it fit to bring the legislation to the Parliament, where you didn't have to go to the court. He could have come to the Parliament and amended the law. They had the majority then. Amend the law to make murder a bailable offense. 2010 to 2015, 5 years, 3 months, and 14 days. At no point in time did it occur to them. Let us bring an amendment. Let us amend the law to make it easier so that would-be criminal persons accused could get bail. There wasn't concern between 2010 to 2015 about what if they're innocent? What if the police set them up? Between 2010 to 2015, that wasn't a concern. They weren't concerned about prison conditions between 2010 to 2015. But as they leave office, all of a sudden, my God, this inhumane conditions in these prisons. No, that is unacceptable. It's egregious. We need to go to the court and sue for $3.5 million a man. Because the prison conditions, the state of the prison conditions is affecting people's mentals. But we're not going after the state to improve those conditions. No, we're not interested in any amelioration or any improvement. We just want to sue for compensation. But leave the prison conditions the way that it is, because jail make the right fit. Leave it as it is so that we could have more clients to sue the state, claiming that mental anguish, the conditions in there was too much for them to bear, and they can no longer lead normal lives, and the state need to mind them for the rest of their life to the tunes of millions of dollars. Ralph had nothing to say about that. No, nothing to say about that. But he could tell you everything that happened in the last 8 years under this administration. From day one to now, he could remember and he could quote verbatim everything that happened. But between 2010 to 2015, he's suffering from a special kind of Alzheimer's. What? There was a period called 2010 to 2015? What is that? Seriously? I wasn't aware. But 2015 to 2023? Oh, yes. I could write a book. I could tell you everything, what you need to know. Anything you ask me about, I could tell you. Down to the most minute of details, I could tell you everything that happened under Rowley. But under Kamala, I can't remember. That really happened, but I didn't hear about that. Darren, what you're talking about, I don't recall that. No, you don't recall. Your powers of recollection limited for the last 8 years. And the Express giving this man space every week to talk that drivel, to talk that trash. And they proudly posting that crap. Yeah? I don't know if Ralph's still carrying he still have an axe to grind from what happened with his sister. I don't know. What's his issue? This hatred that he has for Dr. Rowley. I know what Dr. Rowley doing, but whatever it is, it festers him. And he needs to take it, throw it off his shoulder before he meets his maker. Right? You need to let it go, Ralph. Let it go. Dr. Rowley don't have you to study. And all of us seeing through you, your petticoat, your jockey shorts, and wherever else you're wearing, it is bright yellow. Bright, bright, bright yellow, Ralph. We see through you. You ain't fooling none of us. So when you want to come and put out this dribble and pretend as if you're so concerned about the country, and you're unbiased. You're anything but. You are the epitome of biased. And when it says that on your Monday show, the one opportunity you get for the week to talk, and when Darian looking to slap you in your face with hard facts to refute the trash that you like to talk about, all of a sudden, your computer giving problems. All of a sudden, the internet giving problems. And only, Mr. Maraj, are you there? Mr. Maraj? It seems Mr. Maraj is having some technical difficulties. It seems Mr. Maraj is away from his computer. But Monday gone, Darian wasn't there. You get to run the show for yourself. Oh, he was there every single minute. No problems. Internet running good. Computer operating good. Clear as ever. You're hearing him. No breaks. No issues. Perfect. Perfect last Monday gone. But Monday before, issues. Yeah, he say peace and then all of a sudden, start to get problems. Let's see what this government had to put up with. Bunch of idiots. But he ain't going to talk about. I hope Darian raised that issue tomorrow. Well, no, they are not show tomorrow. Following week. 825. That for me, that was the highlight of the week. 825 young people graduated from CCC. 825 young people demonstrated they had the capacity to be able to go to classes for the last 10 months and devote themselves to bettering themselves. I applaud them. I applaud them. Well done, young people. Well done to the parents who supported them, right? The parents who brought them up in the right way and who didn't dismiss them and say, well, I fed up her here, she's a waste of time. I do my part. So they drop out of school and left it so. To the parents who gave them whatever support you gave, we congratulate you as well and we applaud you. And we need more parents like you. If we had more parents like you, as opposed to those who prepare to allow the children to become statistics, who have no problem with the children linemen with hanging out with the village gang leader, who see the children coming home with money, wads of money, and they're not working a place, as they say. They works nowhere and draw no pay, but they pocket deep. You know they hiding gun in the house, and you have nothing to say because you benefiting. And they say, Mommy, hold that now. And you take it, you're happy, and you stick it in your bosom. You chuck it down in your brazier. And every time you bring it, you receive it. You don't want to know where it come from. You don't want to know what you do to get it. That is not your concern. You liking yourself. You could pay for the weave this week. And you could buy a new outfit. You're happy. But to the parents who going out there and working hard, working honestly, and supporting your children in these endeavors. Not everybody's child could be a lawyer and doctor and architect and all of these different things. But we have a lot of people in this country making plenty money and living nice, working for themselves, who are very good with their hands. And while some of us might want to look down on those professions, some of us who like to, and not me, but I just say, we who like to look down on them, when you're having problems in your house and you have to call the electrician, you can't fix it for yourself. He has a skill. She has a skill that you don't have. They have a skill that you have to pay them money for. Right? When you have problems with your plumbing and you need them to come, they're making money. You can't do it. That's why you had to call them. Yeah? At the end of the day, some of them, the bank account looking plenty better than all your own. And they're watching the little old van that they're driving and they pull up with. But you know, home in the garage, they have the brand new Tucson or the brand new Navara or whatever park up. Yeah? Because they don't need to be showy and they don't need to flam when they're working. They're saving the money and living nice and contributing to the society in a meaningful and honest way. Unlike the waste of time parents who want to be your child friend. And you give up on the child. And whatever happened, happened. Because you had 3-4 others to take care of, so that one, waste that time. This government is saying none shall be lost. We will create opportunities, and if we need to go to the highways and the byways to find those who have been discarded, we will do so. To save them. To save them, we will invest the money to save them. Rather than having to spend money to mind them in the prison, it's better we spend the money and give them a skill. Spend the money and give them a stipend so that they can develop themselves and be productive citizens. I applaud any government who would do that. And all other who listen here who works with Rowley and do like PNM and whatnot, these are facts you cannot, you can't dismiss as much as you may want to. Some all here who do like Rowley this and Rowley that, all your own children benefited. Yeah? Your child just graduated probably from the first cohort or the second cohort, but you hate Rowley. And Rowley ain't no damn good. But your child didn't have that opportunity when Kamala was there. In fact, as they closed down the CCC and they closed down the youth camps and so on, which this government is bringing back to create more opportunities for the young people to be able to. All their programs oversubscribed. Homestead program. People catching the tail to get into these programs because persons are gravitating towards it because they see an opportunity. Unfortunately, not enough people highlighting the good. So we saw the article with this 825 young people. We saw a video, but then what's going to happen after that? Anybody else highlighting it when they start their business? But we don't need that. Because at the end of the day, the young people know what the government is doing. Opportunities are there, and they now could go and spread the gospel and talk to their friends who coming up behind them and say, boy, come now, come. I went and I do this. Come, let me show you how to do it, how to enroll. This is what you're getting. This is the benefit that you're getting. Come. Forget them. You're doing sit down on the side of the road. Come. Let me show you how to do something. Come, I have a little work to do. Let me go. You could be my apprentice. I could show you how to do this in the meantime until you sign up for the program. And then so you could get your certification. So you could handle your stories. But no kudos to the government for that. Ralph Finger talk about that. The Doglaya wouldn't talk about that. There's nothing to talk about. We're not talking about anything that could make the government and Rowley look good. Nitpick and look for all the negatives, and that we could talk about. Oh, the economy suffering. Yeah? But all these companies, these private sector companies, announcing record profits, record sales, increase revenue, increase in the sale of vehicles, 9,999 vehicles per license plate number. We reached PEF almost done. Yeah, the first PEF I saw a couple of weeks ago, reaching 7,000 and something already. I wasn't even aware PEF was out. Almost done. But we suffering. Tobago Carnival just finished. We suffering. And suffering. Last night I went up to Price Mart in Mausica. Couldn't find a parking space. I had a park quite right up in the back. But we suffering. If you're seeing people with a trolley, 58-inch, they're selling JVC televisions, 58-inch in Price Mart. But 4 or 5 trolleys, people come in just to buy that. But we suffering. Can't afford to pay property tax, $81 a month, but you could just walk in Price Mart, swipe your card and buy a 58-inch TV. But you're suffering. You can't afford to pay $15 more per month for electricity to ease up the government a little bit. So that money that they're spending now to subsidize electricity, they could use that to introduce another program for your own child to benefit. For your own child to become self-employed. You know what that? No. Let the government continue to subsidize. Because what is priority for you? You don't want to have to pay more on electricity because that means one less shoe you could buy. Or that means one less beer you could buy when you go to the fete. Because carnival season is just around the corner. And you're done making a list of all the fetes, all the carnival fetes you're going to. You're going to this all-inclusive. I tell a lot of people then calling me already to find about CIC all-inclusive. They ain't know the price. This year, as I told you, all tickets was $1,400 and $2,000. They ain't care. Make about price. Who want 2 and who want 4 and who want 6 and okay. I can't do that. I don't have access to those tickets. I'm limited to 2. Right? But I'm mainly making the point. Even without knowing the price, they're ready to buy. But we're suffering. Things hard. Trinidad is the worst it has ever been. But go in the airport any day, anytime, and check the line. They're a big suitcase, all who looking to run up New York and Fort Lauderdale and Miami for 2 weeks for vacation. Go and see. All who going up for Thanksgiving. Like they said, they're going and shop. All the things that they order online from Amazon, they're going up to collect. Rather than bring it in, they're going up because they send it by the family members who live in Fort Lauderdale or wherever it is. And they're going with 2 and 3, the big grip to pack it up to come back. When they reach back in the airport, customs only sending them, so go in the red line. You have anything to declare? Let's see, go across, put 10 bags up on the scanner. They need trolleys. Some of them when they come in, 2 trolleys to push. And antics they're trying. 2 and 3 family members they come in with, and they pretending as if they know each other. So that customs will be all that all you bring in here, come. Up on the scanner, let me see what it is all you have inside there. And when I said come out the scanner, go across in the red line. But they're suffering. They can't afford. Things hard. And Christmas coming, you will see. What you will see? You go to the house, only the finest of liquors. The finest, what you're drinking, what you have. I say what you're drinking, you just name it there. But it is double black. You want that? Hey, it had that here. Wherever it is you want, boy, look, we have it. All of those businesses that selling beers and so on, ram out. See cars park up, traffic, and they open the trunk. Cases upon cases, empty cases come load it up there, man, but we suffer. 7701763. Bunch of jokers, yes? Are you ready? Let's see this here. Somebody's telling me Kamala is so steeped in her own rhetoric that she said light them up in reference to Diaz on the Nagar stage. Let me put this back on here. So, let's see. Jen, you there?
Hi, Dominic. Morning.
Morning. Well, afternoon. Well, yeah, afternoon.
Oh, it's evening. I think it's evening now.
Yes.
Hi, good evening, Dominic. Good evening to all. In fact, good afternoon to all those who are not country into facts and stubborn things. And I want to say to the Muslim, the Hindu community, I don't want to make a mistake like the news say because I might be told I'll be fired.
Yes.
So to the Hindu community, I think it's Shubh Diwali to the Hindu community as we celebrate as a people in this country, all religious festival, or everybody takes part in it. I just want to say with that Tiantec issue that you just raised, from my understanding is that those whose light bills are $300 unless the subsidy that they enjoy will still be on.
Right.
Even though that the lights would raise, but they are still debating that because I think what they want to do is bring light bills every month now and to put onto the light bill how exactly you're going to burn up how much of kilowatts and that kind.
Jen, I know what happened, man. Call me back. I know what happened, huh? So. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, Dom. Good afternoon, my darling.
Hi.
Have no reasoning. Hate, have no sense. UNC is an insecure party of the little groups, not a man among them. Inshan Ishmael have been her common friend, was not Maraj.
Yes.
It comes from, you know, like, even the dog, a little ankle bite in the bed. No offense to dogs, I like dogs. Something is wrong with them as a people. Look, Ricky Jai got a doctorate, right? And they're happy. When Prime Minister Rowley's got a doctorate, they wrote, right? They wrote Hud University. Why everything African people have come?
What's going on here this morning? I don't understand. Folks, give me 1 sec. Let me just, I don't know why this is happening. Right. Call me back, folks. I don't know why this thing keeps cutting off. this morning. If it's not one thing, it's another. We try. So, right, let's try this again. Hello?
Yes, darling.
Yes.
Why do they hate us so much? Robert talking about race. When you said Oreo, black man eating grass, with master's name, was that racism? Wasn't that weaponizing slavery?
Yes.
When men were raised and sodomized to be the spirit, when women were raped to have children of lighter hue, wasn't slavery evil?
Yes.
But Cameron took it and did what? Weaponized it. Robert was quiet with that. Religion quiet. Wade Mark quiet. Rodney Charles quiet. That never counts, right? When the ads for the campaign in 2015, eating grass. Who didn't leave like a dog eating grass? African people. But that Jack in the Box, you walking hemorrhoid called Ann Roberts, hell diarrhea, said nothing to the fact. Was racism. If anybody was UNC, they like what they get. There's no perfect Burger Party, but PNN would never stoop the depth of hell that they have done. UNC is hell and load. Don't have a good weekend. Be blessed, my darling. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. You too. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good day, sir.
Right. Good afternoon to all the listeners and the viewers of this program. Let me take this opportunity to wish all the Hindu brothers and sisters in the Hindu community Shubh Diwali. Dominic,
yes,
you see, Sushila Prasad Bisesa, she will go down in history in this country as the most incompetent prime minister and opposition leader. I sat and I watched how this woman operated. The woman badly off. And before you say, all right, you know, I did my time and whatever thing and right to the sunset. The woman decides she's staying there. You understand? Just what them did Pandey back in 2010, she get it back reverse. You understand?
Yes.
And I think let it keep her right there. Because if she were, and I keep asking myself, Dominic, who in the UNC it have to actually lead a party? Who would have been there? Monilal? Jolie John? Who? Russian Parade? Russian Parade is not no prime ministerial quality. So who is having there to actually run that party? But then again, that is their worries. I hope that Trinidadians and Tobagonians observe and see what is going on in that party, and God forbid, because all them doing right now, they put in Sushila as a window screen. And when they win election, they will mush you out. That's the whole plan there, right? That's the whole plan there. Right? So I following I hear CNC3 talk about 2-3 days to air a clipping that Tobago would have bought days before the Diwali Nagar, and I find typical UNC3 again. You understand? And then he had this one, what's she name? Uvashi. Go name calling Kamala, she full name Kamla Sushila Prasad. He called Uvashi indigent, my name is indigent labor. Sir, you might see that party done, that party mash up. It ain't coming back. Dominic, good program. A lot of listening.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Jenny.
Hi, Dominic.
Yes.
I don't know how much something like that.
I don't know why it cuts off.
But I was saying that situation with me. I like to observe things. I watched this thing with Anna Roberts because his mother was Indian and his father's African. And I'm saying to myself, what is causing all this hate of self? Because I see guys having hate for self. And this is the reason why he keeps himself clean shaven, is that if it grows, it will look like us, more African. So you will not have the shelter of the Indian community. I'm just asking. You won't be able to lay claim to this Dukla talk. I just asking, that's something to forget. I want to just go on briefly to Inshan Ishmael. Inshan Ishmael, the history of the bamboo number 1, 2, and 3 it came out of criminal activity. It is written near saying so car thief. That was to go and take down car, pull it apart and all that. Not only that, there's a history of citizens in Bamboo, the residents there, running public officers and at gunpoint sometimes, and they run for their life. Agricultural officers went into Bamboo to tell the residents who were squatting there that that land is not agricultural land, it is not residential land, they can do business there because it is flooded. They run them out and they run for their life. So there's no big far from imagination why you would call the agricultural officer and talk about she ugly and shola, because these same agricultural officers who have been trying to get them to come out from Bamboo all the years. I don't know why they were allowed to build up these communities there. And every time it floods, they're operating as if it's something new. But they knew those were flooding land. But not only that, that was a legal community. How did the governments and the powers that be allow that community to raise like that? And not only that, they like to tell us there's businessmen and the taxes mining, PNM people. I want to tell Inshan Ishmael, the business tax is not what mining we. You know what mining all people in Trinidad and Tobago? Is the money we just get back from the oil and gas. Not no business money we get from in the bamboo. If you just take your money to mine the African people, you're always showing who's so hungry and have to come by you. And they want to continue to come by you. So you could tell them how hungry they is. So you could mine them like their business. If the structure you're putting up is illegal, and you get 7 days to take it down, and the state come and take it on, they want to put injunction, that is your business. But the state must take it down. Because in La Hoqueta, when the woman built she thing to go and make she money legally, HDC came and take it down. So we talk about equity. If it's good for one, it's good for all. And you don't run this country. And for a person who is a Muslim, who does talk about women, the way you don't talk about women, I cry shame on you, Inshan Ishmael. To be giving charity and then talking about it. The Quran talk about that, you know, that when you give him charity and you have to talk about it, it says what it says about that. So apparently you're not close, in my opinion, to the Quran. But again, that bamboo community, there's articles written on it, from car thieves to legitimate business. And we have a history of that. Look at Dolce, the Italy. Dolce was the biggest drug dealer in this country, biggest criminal. He was linked to the cartel all over the world. And they say his money founded a lot of businesses down in that side down there. And them is serious legal businessmen. And watching all the African people who doing it, we are catching with tail to succeed. And I said, you're doing something bad. Look what they did with Karim Marcel. That's him mentioned. An African youth fight to come out from the areas they like to talk about crime ridden. Became a lawyer and you fight on that. But we don't see plenty people of Indian descent who went and get a degree and didn't do it the right way. Look at the one they call Shea Mohammed, they said doctor. They say that the university he say that the PhD from is not an accredited one. But it's all right, he's doctor. And there's so many others. But when African children study hard, burn the midnight oil, or no, we just play pan, and we get what we get, or they're going to ridicule me, Inshan Ishmael, and well, it's 20 hours and so much oil on bamboo. But you know what Inshan Ishmael asking? You show all them lawyers and doctors you talk about, that all of them, that the papers legit asking a question. Because we have plenty bright Indians in this country, just like any other race in this country. But there are some, we must admit, didn't get the papers the right way. They didn't get the business the right way. They didn't get the land the right way. They didn't get the homes the right way. They didn't enter into politics the right way. And I could go on and on. Some of them. Thank you, Dominic. Always, and have a blessed one.
Thank you, Jen. Hello.
Dominic?
Hi.
I want to bless every African person in this nation. I bless you. I speak well over you. The CC young people, you will get businesses. You're going to be landlords, business owners. You're going to get spiritual wealth. You're going to be wealthy young people. You're going to have so much. You're going to give. You're going to lend. You're going to talk to those as ambassadors for your youth. Over and see Lot and Laventil and Nahotic and Maloney. I bless every African person. I bless the PNM, Mr. Rowley, his wife, his brand, Mr. Imbert, they'll sing. I bless every PNM council. Dominic, I bless you and yours. I bless Jenny. I bless every person who is in the debunking the fact. I speak well over you. To generations to come, to your grand to come. I bless you. I bless your hands. I bless your womb. I bless your loins. I bless every area of your life. Amen, amen, amen. Goodbye.
Thank you. So I'm reading something here. It says the Quran is critical of those who give in order to appear generous. Sadaqah is better given discreetly to those in need rather than for the purpose of public acknowledgement. In fact, ostentatious public behavior renders a charitable act as self-serving, thereby negating or compromising its value. Somebody need to tell Inshan that. You who believe, do not cancel out your charitable deeds with reminders and hurtful words. So you want to come and talk about PNM people and PNM people and paying their rent to HDC and all of that foolishness. Anyway, I don't know what it is his issue, but when he was benefiting from the largest of the PNM, he had no complaints. None whatsoever. But today, it's a horse of a different color. Yeah? You ain't eating our food again. They have no time with you. You're vexed. So everything is the PNM, and it's the PNM people suffering. And according to Jayanti, most of the crime taking place in PNM constituencies. But I want to tell Jayanti, most of the times when you're reading a newspaper article about fraud, white collar crime, yeah, fraud in licensing, thieving in BIR, fraudulent tax certificates, and all of these things taking place all over the place. But land fraud taking place in the Ministry of Agriculture and in the Ministry of the Office of the Attorney General and so on. When you check, the majority of the perpetrators, Jayanti, coming from UNC constituencies. In case you weren't aware. So, let's get this here. Brian. Yes, sir.
I would like to endorse all what the last, I'm hearing myself.
We hear you right there without any issue.
I'm repeating after it's still there, but anyway, I'll try. I'd like to endorse what the last person said. Our blessings to you and all of those who have done well for this country and on behalf of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I'd like to also say Shubh Diwali greetings to all of the Hindu community. And I do hope that they do enjoy today and their last 9 nights at the Diwali Nagar. Dominic,
Sir.
This government in the last 8 years has attempted to right the wrongs that were done under UNC. And I say in UNC, I ain't saying no partnership, under UNC government. When they stopped the CCC, they closed it down since I think it was during Pandy time. And all of the other things that would help those who were not academically inclined to move ahead, to get an opportunity, to get a chance to do something worthwhile outside of being, of joining gangs. Yes?
Yes.
I have to applaud because outside of you, I saw it once in the news about the graduation of the 825 people who graduated from a UTT that was initiated and organized by the great, I forget the gentleman's name, who was also given an honorary doctorate, right, along with Ricky Jai and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to applaud these people because these are the small and micro enterprise businesses that is going to grow, Dominic. These are the young entrepreneurs that the Honorable Prime Minister and the Minister of Youth were speaking about and attempting to get into some sort of business and to develop themselves and not just be out there telling themselves, oh God, I can't do economics, I can't go and study to be a doctor, I can't study to be a lawyer. But to show the people, to show the youth that, hey, listen, you could be a damn good plumber. We don't have plumbers. When you have something wrong with your plumbing, who you calling? Very few people you could go outside there and say, listen, let me call this organization or this industry to help me with that. The simple things that really matter, Dominic. The simple things that matter. Hairdressing, all of these things that really and truly matter to the small people in this country. When I say the small people, those of us who had the big money to go in the malls. You understand? But we could go because we know Denise have a little hair and nails business. We could call Denise because I just see her on the internet. I get her number, I go give her a call. She said, well, pass on my mail, or not my house, but come home by me and I have it organized. I'm going to go there. She have a nice business. She ain't paying no rent because she on her mommy and daddy house, but she business growing.
Yes.
That kind of people we talking about. You understand? So I am not going to sit here. Sometimes we have to, actually, let me talk about me, like to show up the ills of the UNC. We're going to talk about the goodness of what is happening to the young people in Trinidad and Tobago. Right, that homestead program, look at it today, Dominic. Who would believe so many people would be interested in agriculture and the science of agriculture? And they could barely get it now. You understand? Even the Caribbean Airlines had a career guidance thing just recently, just about a week or two ago. Look at the amount of people who want to get into media, who want to get into all sorts of things. And these are the type of things that we have to talk about to the youth who tell themselves, you see me, I can't get in UE, but I might be able to get in the UTT. I might be able to go and learn a trade. I might be able to get into MIC. And there's no degrading of those skills. So that is what we have to talk about for those youths. I tell them, hey, load up the automatic, light them up, ain't getting you nowhere. You understand? Because when Ms. Jairam from the Faizabad business community want to talk about she agree with getting guns, and if she really hear a gun go off, she might jump out of her skin. Because she agreed that they must shoot people. And that is the only way to deal with the gun issue in Trinidad and crime is to shoot back. Yes? That is her way. And her way, I mean, for a person who is a businesswoman in the business community who say that, well, oh God, we have CCTV camera, the house lock up, we have bad dogs, but that's a helping. Really? But you have business. Why you close it down and travel and go away? You ain't going nowhere. You're staying right here. All who talking, Dominic, all who talking, staying right in Trinidad and Tobago. You know why, Dominic? You are right. Cars are selling out. Brand new vehicles selling out. PEF nearly done. Huh? How are you getting that? You can't get that today. You can't get that too so till next year. Since August. Things are happening in the country and people are talking about it because it's too good. It is good things that the government is doing. That's why they want to talk about it. All they could talk about is court. I'm going to put you in court. This is court. That is court. Look at what Jayanti tried to do last week in the parliament. When the Honorable Minister of Finance said, listen, we are not ready for procurement legislation. No, bring it. Bring procurement. Or you hide, not bring it procurement. The government say, okay, let's bring it. But then they realized, they said, listen, there are going to be issues with the procurement legislation. We may have to come back to you repeatedly. Last week was one of those times. Jayanti decided that they want to nullify the small man because he can't go and do what the big companies can do as far as organizing themselves and so on. So the Honorable Finance Minister said, listen, we have to cater for these small man who selling coconuts. That if we had to call on him, we kept bringing before a procurement committee. You understand? And this is what Jayanti tried to get nullified. And I am surprised that Senator Dylan Remy to support that. But it failed in the parliament. It failed in the Senate. You understand? And because they are trying to ensure that things are difficult for this government to do. Or for any government unless them in power. And these are these things that we have to understand and realize that the small and micro enterprises may not have the financial wherewithal to adhere to the procurement legislation as it pertains to doing certain things. But this government is a caring government and they will continue. And I want to congratulate all those youths. Get your friends, get members of your family who may not be so inclined and show them a certificate. Show them what you have done. Show them where you have graduated. Because it will only redound to the benefit of the small person, the person whose parents may not be able to have the financial wherewithal to send them to UE. Yes? But there's a University of Trinidad and Tobago. And you can live and you can prosper. Dominic, I want to thank you. Enjoy your long weekend and be safe.
Thank you so much, sir. Just imagine, I'm seeing here in today's Express. Woodside sees positive outlook for TNT. China looks at stronger ties with region. 18 Chinese investments secured at Phoenix Park Industrial Estate. Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister Amory Brown has announced that the Phoenix Park Industrial Estate in Point Fortin already has 18 investments worth $458 million. $500 million. But we get no foreign direct investment. Under Rowley and the PNM, foreign direct investment is negative. And Ralph? And Kamla? No foreign direct investment. 18 investments already. $500 million. But you know what the supporters gonna say? Rowley and them selling out the country to the Chinese. But as soon as these businesses start operating, you know what happened? The same one and them who cussing and old Rowley selling out the country to the Chinese is the same ones going to line up looking for work in the same companies. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. Don't know what happened with your internet call. It's saying your WhatsApp audio is connecting. see what we have here. Shelton says, I remember when Mr. Manning was Prime Minister, Dr. Ali went to him and said, boss, we need to do something. We need to do something for the urban youth. They seem to be heading down a slippery slope. And the opposition labeled him a racist. If African people in this country cannot see the racial attempts to become more third-class citizens, something is terribly wrong. Hello, good afternoon. I don't know what's going on here. Let's see. Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
Dominic!
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
I am good, sir. I see you're still outside.
Hey, Dominic.
Yes, sir.
A secretary from the Tobago House of Assembly chartered a plane to go back to Tobago.
Yes.
And Dr. Rowley had a comment about that and talk about traffic control. Dominic, Dr. Rowley forget Elsie. Flying to Trinidad in the middle of the night.
Oh, Lord, Father.
Since she come to talk about virus. But nobody from the Ministry of Health was in the meeting. Inshan plane landing in the airport. Dominic, Dr. Rowley forgetting that.
Oh,
but you want to talk about the man from Tobago? Dominic.
Yes, sir.
I will leave it here.
Thank you, sir. Oh, Lord, leave it there. Delcy had permission to come in here. Leave it there. Have you seen the development? Yes, go ahead, caller.
Yeah, greetings today. Dominic?
Yes, ma'am.
Trying to find his wrongdoing with to highlight the people. You see how nasty it is? I could never feel it when it's in music. So right. Wicked man. I'll have a blessed day and a prayer.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Dominic?
Yes, sir.
Yes, man, I hear you now. I don't know what's going on with the internet. But I just want to wish the Indian community a happy Diwali. And may they see the light from the darkness. Dominic, you continue what you're doing, educating the masses with the necessary information. Dominic, you see these people like Ralph Maraj, Anna Roberts, even that disrespectful one from Bamboo, Inshan Ishmael, and Masha Walker. Them don't know who they're messing with, you know. Particularly you and people like Julia Davy and Shah Felix and Pastor Google. You know. Them really don't know what they're doing it. And if I was Mr. Inshan Ishmael, please leave Miss Julia David alone now. Because from my understanding, she was in the UNC vineyard since in the early days. And all of these people like Inshan Ishmael and Masha Walker are upstarts and greenhorns. They ain't ready for her. Right? And let's talk about the suffering. Did you see any more people who went to Tobago, Dominic?
No.
Oh, and people suffering, but they find it here up in Tobago. And they need plenty money to go in Tobago, correct?
Correct.
So all I talk about high utility bills and people talking about certain maxi taxis associated, they want to raise up transportation passage because things hard and because of thing. You think people seeing things tough here? What I see in Tobago and what you see, the amount of people going to Price Mart and West Bees and Massey stores. I don't think it's hard or something otherwise.
Yes.
I can understand that. And this thing about diversification, don't we have manufacturing companies who manufacturing food products in cans?
Yeah.
Isn't that a form of diversification?
Ralph and get the memo.
Isn't tourism a form of diversification too?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't the recent little industry we have with the film industry, local film, isn't it a form of diversification as well? So where was Ralph Maraj? And if Mr. Ralph Maraj know about what former Prime Minister Patrick Mann has said about he was to open up the mega farms and the so-called aluminum smelter plant, which will result in downstream industries, which will also help the shipbuilding industry in this country. Would I have the diversification in this country and earn some form of foreign revenue? These people must be jokers. And Mr. Inshan Ishmael, he had to remember too, that area called the bamboo, it was supposed to be agricultural land. And all the built-up structures there, that shouldn't be. That is why you have all the flooding and all you want to blame the government of the day for all the flooding in that area. Dominic, you have a good day, and I'm praying that you get your new TV program. If Synergy don't want you, I think you should go to another channel. Right? Because I really miss that program, Synergy.
Yes. Soon come, soon come.
You have a good day.
You too.
Right? I hope so.
But as there is that issue of agricultural land now being used for commercial endeavors. In the back in Arangwes, I had close to go wrong in the back there recently, and I mean the amount of agricultural land that I am seeing now occupied by apartment buildings. So you have a whole apartment building, and right next to it, you have a field of lettuce and pak choy and stuff, and then next to that, another apartment building in Arangwes. And I am asking, did town and country planning give approval for these people to use agricultural land to put up apartments? I just asking. I'm curious, because it looked odd to me. But they didn't raise that to know. But when the government wanted to build houses in a certain place, they had ISU all over the place they're talking. Hello, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, brother.
Yes, sir.
Very well.
I am good.
I'm multitasking here today. I'm a chef food by you. I'm trying to fight up with some delicacies here.
Right. That's
and but listen, I am Prince Dominic, that Ralph is from the What If Marvel universe.
Yes.
And who we have writing in the Express and commenting on a Monday is the variant for this multiverse. Understand? And the real Ralph Maraj hidden away somewhere. Because when you look at the facts he presents conveniently and so on, one would be convinced that we heading full speed ahead to destruction, and imminent social collapse. You know, as you have pointed out, nobody is not, and called us before, nobody isn't saying that we have our challenges and so on. But the objective observer would realize the development program from the government has been hampered last 8 years by recalcitrant opposition. And I'm saying 2010 to 2015, despite for the first time in our independence, our responsible opposition should have. And might I add, same thing when PNM was in opposition, the 95 to 2000. They would have supported legislation that need a rule in the country, and they would have also opposed when it was fundamentally bad for the country. Right? Imagine a Kenyan government, a opposition, sorry, is the only one that up. And this was when the budget had ballooned in access to the final before the 2010 election. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, to me, Maraj is just a doyen and a functionary to do what they want to do. It's in the picture. Everything is so drab and very disconsolate.
Yes.
And send mostly the independent voters as they put themselves from the PNM to the UNC. That is his agenda. You know, and once you realize that, like your good self and other people on media give us the facts, to me, I would think that it's more of the right thinking with the consensus to, hey, listen, you can't deviate. Let's just see the course and see what this government is doing for us. And I think that once we not even kill, it's okay. We should be okay. And for me, not that you have to convince Dominic, besides the independent, is the new cadre of voters who will be eligible to vote for the general election in 2025. And if you could convince them that this is the best time in history of our country, age between 18 and 35, in terms of the opportunities that the government is providing for their cohort, I think we should be okay. You know, the guiding rule, like I mean, I'm sure I could reasonably be convinced to have an alternative view on how the country could be developed. Once it's credible, what the government has out there, I could be convinced. But sadly, too many of our citizens are not like that. That is the problem, you know.
Yes.
And especially when they should know better, having come through the experience of the post-independence into structural adjustment period. To know better. Right? But see what done, like I say, I'm going to finish up this multitasking, boy. Enjoy the rest of the holiday. I hope that everyone could have the light come into their lives and bring some reason to dispel the foolishness that is out there.
Yes.
Okay, brother, and thanks again.
Thank you so much. Yes, my princess is multitasking with the delicacies, as I'm sure many of us will be doing today. You know, so for those of you who are doing so, enjoy it, but don't overdo. Denise says the currently land that was given out for agriculture, they used to construct buildings. So let me see. The government was supposed to be checking on it so that they got away with murder. Indeed. Too many times. Anything good? Joycelyn says anything good happening under the PNM, they benefit the most, but always downplaying. Well, you think we don't know the game that is being played by you on the opposite side. So true. So true. Angela says, I feel you should have cooked and invited us to Parasite Sahina. Well, I'm supposed to get that, Angela, but yeah. I mean, I'm good in the kitchen, but not that good. Pearl says they also feel if they destroy Dr. Rowley, they will leave Black people leaderless, just as they succeeded in getting some of us to turn against and destroy Mr. Manning. Yeah. Lots of people took chin up when Mr. Manning was concerned. Yes, leave it there. And his thing about Delcy, and even the way you think about what's happening with the relationship with Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela now. I saw Minister Stuart Chung was in Venezuela just last week, I think it was, where he had a meeting with Delcy. They're discussing dragon gas and so on. What are your views on that? Do you think that Mr. Trevor James's little trip to Martinique and his leasing of that aircraft or chartering that aircraft, that was proper, so Dr. Raleigh shouldn't have spoken on the matter? Where does the THA get its money from? Allocated from the parliament. Neither there. So Dr. Raleigh has every right to speak on that. And Delcy coming here didn't cost us taxpayers any money. Right? And there would have been arrangement put in place before to allow Delcy to come here. Just say. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Robert.
Yes, sir.
So I don't call that again. What's going on, right? For those people who want to say that they want to raise taxi fares because of crime, all of a sudden it's not because of gas increase, it's not because we didn't see gas increase this year, but because of crime, double trucks.
Yes.
It's so important for Mr. Manel visually rapid radio system was important. Remember when every time get a hurry, including those same taxi and maxi taxi drivers who was against it?
Yes.
You remember that? Right? Even the car dealers association was against it because they said that rapid radio system would affect their livelihood.
Yes.
My advice to this government to please revisit that project. It is long overdue and that system should have been built a long time. Right? And another thing too, I think the PNM, I think we have to not focus so much on the Tobago seats. I think it's time for the PNM to focus on other seats.
Yes.
Probably owned by the UNC like Shogunas East, Sarawak, Maritaria, and Moruga, Timberland. Because we cannot depend too much on people at Tobago where on the 2 seats. Based on how they move with that 14-1, I am looking at certain, not Tobago, but certain Tobago with a cookie eye. So my advice to the PNM is focus on Moruga, Timberland, Sarawak, Maritaria, Shogunas East. And perhaps standing, and of course I'm going to. You have a good day.
You too, sir. Thank you. See, we have here. Dish is saying don't call him out. All right, Dish. I would call him out. I know you know what I am again. I see he's still outside. Let me see here. To the ship in Tobago, and they had to cancel all the tours as the operators did not show up as the THA is owing them money. Yeah, see, this trip is Fali back from his trip yet. The trip with him and Tashia. I see Tashia talking about Tobago doesn't have any all-inclusive hotels or accommodation. I want to tell Tashia, where were you all when Sandals was coming here, Tashia? When the party of which helped you to get into office? Your leader told Sanders, pack up and go. When we get in power, we won't call all your back. How is that going? How is that going? Because apparently Sanders people just sit down waiting for PDP to get into power, right? Have you all sought to engage, Adam Stewart? So while we have to look on at in St. Vincent, I think it is, getting ready to open the newest Sandals resort. Sometime, is it next year or in early 2025? We don't have one to open. All who was concerned about the environment and all of these different things, where are you all today? When Ralph talking about the lack of diversification under this administration, apparently, but his article doesn't speak about Sandals. Rowley has made no effort at diversification, right? Tourism, no. That wasn't Keith Rowley. Even before he became Prime Minister, would have approached the Sandals folks. But apparently, Ralph just forget that. Certain things he forgets that happened over the last 8 years, that is considered among them. I'm not surprised. Brian,
Dominic, yesterday on the barber shop, there was an interview with a member of the tourism ministry, Miss Jones. And she spoke about the plethora of things that have been organized over the last 3 years with respect to the cruise ships, because she says that takes about 3 years to negotiate. When I say 3 years to negotiate, but you have to negotiate now for 3 years down the road.
Right.
Because they have their plans and so on. I don't know if you heard the interview yesterday.
No.
And the amount of things that are going to be happening over this month leading up to Carnival, and it's going to be a yearly thing now of the amount of tourist activities that are going to be taking place. And Dominic, it is really, really fantastic to hear. And then down in South, there's a lot of things going on down here. That at the end of the day, Dominic, and that's why I'm hoping and praying that this government gets another 5 years so they can complete all of those plans, because it's going to be down to the benefit of Trinidad. I ain't saying Tobago because I don't know what's going on across there. All I know is that people just going on trip. One day is this one, the next day is that one. Right? That tourism thing in London was supposed to be from the 6th to the 8th. Today is the 12th. I don't know whether the chief secretary has returned as yet. You understand? Nor the secretary for tourism. I don't know if she has returned as well. But them only flying all over the place. But the people of Tobago have to deal with that issue and their issues, because many people do come to Tobago. They may have a very good airport, but where they're going to stay is another issue. They can't go to a Airbnb. You understand?
Yes.
Right. I mean, you have to, in this day and age, in 2023, you have to build hotels at 5-star ratings and 7-star ratings for people. Yes? Because that is what is happening around the Caribbean, Dominic.
Yes.
You're not hearing a word about sandals. Why? Is it because it was a PNM idea? Is that the reason why you're not hearing anything about sandals, the best thing? And they do their own advertising, Dominic.
Yep.
You don't have to advertise for them. They advertise for you. That would have been $80 million a year coming back to Tobago. Don't talk about all of the other industries they would have opened up. The agricultural industry. I recall a gentleman was so sad because he had made sacrifices he had mortgaged his house because he wanted to do eggs, because he knew that hotel would need eggs on a daily basis. So he was going to do thousands and thousands and thousands, that egg industry.
Yes.
That has all gone to naught, Dominic. But there are things happening in Trinidad. But you see, you're not going to hear about it, Dominic. It may come up, you know. But they're going to make a one-night TV6.
Yes.
Or a UNC3. But you know what you're going to hear about, Dominic? Ladders.
Yeah.
2 weeks now you're hearing about ladder, Dominic. 2 weeks. Then what are you going to hear about ladders? And ladders that can be used, Ladders that can be used. But you're not going to hear about all the good things happening in Trinidad and Tobago today that this government has done for the people, because there's a lot of activity. Yes, there are issues. Nobody is saying no. Because you have those in the dark doing things, and the police have to work overtime to find. Look at the amount of cash and guns that they're finding all over the place. Almost week by week. Look at the amount of fraudulent things that we are hearing about all over the country. They still can't find Anthony Michael Smith, thanks to Jayanti and her friends who don't like people, who want people to get bail. And they should get ankle bracelets.
Yes.
But now she wants the Minister of National Security to come and answer questions before a Joint Select Committee. When she should be before the Joint Select Committee to answer questions. But it is what it is. you know?
Yes.
But things are happening, Dominic, and we are grateful that this government, the only one thing with this government, that will work a little faster. That's the only thing. You know, but they're working, and that is what is important.
Yes.
Thank you.
Indeed. That is what is most important. Really saying that is why she wants the government to establish a media house, with Dominic doing his programs there to educate us. Jenny and others could even join him there. Thank you so much. Don't worry, folks. I mean, as Denise is saying, with Sandals and Tobago, big international airport, Tobago would have been high up in tourism, but these consume it done on them. So true. Pearl is saying also it was a very informative interview with the tourism official. A lot is taking place that many of us did not know about. Even employment is being created. Angela says reduce crime and people will come. I think regardless, people would come in because Jamaica, as I keep saying, has a significant murder situation. There were almost 1,200 murders for the year already, but there is no shortage of tourists going to Jamaica. I recall when I was there in May, and I saw the whole lineup of cruise ships on the horizon heading into port, and this was in May, outside of our cruise ship season. But it seems as if year-round Jamaica enjoys cruise ship arrivals. So, who's this? Hello, good afternoon.
Dominic!
Leave it there. Oh, Lord.
You give a mouthful to deal with, boy. But I ain't called for that.
All right.
We will deal with that in time to come.
Okay.
So Dominic, you're not on Fiji no more?
Not at the moment, no.
So Dominic, so you don't know a high-ranking PNN minister has shared in synergy?
I'm aware of that, yes.
You're aware?
I'm aware.
And that's how they treated you?
How they treat to believe it?
I don't like that. You're supposed to be on synergy.
Don't worry now. Don't worry. Soon come. I'll be back very soon.
I will talk to that person when I come home.
All right.
I will be with you.
All righty. Well, I'm sure by the time you get back home, my program will be back on. So don't worry. Things are being put in place. So yes, just have to iron out a couple things. Let me see what I have here on YouTube. See here. Right. What's still up on YouTube? I know we got a little power dip there just now. Right. Let me see here. Jamaica has proved that people will come in spite of crime. Crime exists in their own country. Yes, in fact, they have recently would have instituted another state of emergency in the parish of St. James, with 3 murders taking place, 2 of which were young children. One was 7 and the other one was 9 years old. Angela says, remember there are many other places in the world people can visit, and people probably like the currency exchange rate in Jamaica, and they have their resorts. That too. But as I'm saying, so that even with crime, notwithstanding, it doesn't deter persons. There may be other situations or circumstances that exist that persons are willing to overlook the crime situation. And I know in the part of Jamaica where the tourists would tend to focus on, which is in Montego Bay, and those areas up there, the crime isn't as bad. And so special efforts are put in place to protect those particular areas where the tourists frequent from any significant upsurge in crime so that they could feel safe. In addition to which, a lot of the resorts up on that side are all-inclusive resorts. So the one where I stayed, which would have been, what was the name of it? In Rose Hall? I think it was the Hilton in Rose Hall. It was all-inclusive. So they were really and truly, if you weren't inclined to leave to go and do any sightseeing, You didn't need to leave the resort. They have a lot of activities. In fact, they have a huge water park in the resort that you can utilize. Endless food and stuff. The bars are open. So you could go. They have about 5 or 6 different restaurants on the property. So whatever is your choice, you could sample different types of food. So yeah, I mean, as I said, if you don't want to leave the resort, you don't have to. But really and truly, it don't make sense to go to Jamaica to spend how much ever days in a resort. You want to go outside and see. So there are places like Dunn River Falls and so on. The Great House there in Rose Hall. You have horseback riding in the water, which I think is part of the Dunn River Falls. And then you have the River Rapids tour, where you go in this raft, taking you down the river in this, with high speed and stuff. So they have a lot of stuff to do there. So really to promote your tourism product, what you have to offer the tourists, and market it well. And as Brian said, Sandals does their own marketing, because it makes no sense that you have a resort and you are not doing your part. If you have to rely on everybody else, it's not going to help. So Sandals does extensive marketing in North America, Canada, and the UK, and so on, to be able to get persons to come to their resorts throughout the Caribbean, and you have a wide variety. So there are persons who visit the different Sandals in order to see what is the difference. Unfortunately, there's no Sandals in Tobago for them to sample. And so for those of us who may want the Sandals experience, whereas we could have been able to just hop on a plane or take the ferry, go across to Tobago and experience it, you don't have to set aside money to pay for airfare to whichever Caribbean territory they want to go to. And so they are benefiting from that. We are not. And whether or not Sandals will ever come back here, I don't know. It's left to be seen. Maybe Dr. Oli can make a second stab at it, but I verily believe, and I highly doubt, that this circumstance will be any different. The same people who cuss the project and who malign the project, it's the same people going to come out of the woodworks again to talk about memorandum of understanding and make all kind of allegation about the government, because it's liar Arnold Roberts who claimed that it was $8 billion. He said this in the Senate, right? That the government was going to spend on this thing, and Sandals wasn't putting out one dime. And as I drew to your attention, the government invited the private sector to come in as investors. And based on the number of persons and private sector entities that had expressed interest and the quantum of money that they were willing to invest in the project, the government wasn't going to have to put out one dime, because I think the cost for the whole Sandals project itself, we're talking about the marina and the airports and all of that, which was part of the $8 billion, which that lying bastard wouldn't tell you about. But it was about $2 billion or so for the entire development of the Sandals project. And one company alone was prepared to invest $500 million in that. 1/4 of the budget, one company alone that currently owns the Sandals resorts in Turks and Caicos. A local company was prepared to put out that money. You had NIB wanted to invest in it too, with all the money that they have and so on. They're looking for lucrative investments, they could make money. So the opportunity was there, but these clowns maligned the project, had nothing good to say, one set up a canal, and that's all they're good for. And then after the project gone here, then, well, we didn't really want Sandals to go, We didn't mind Sandals coming, but it's just that, we wanted transparency, and we wanted accountability, and we wanted to know what was in the memorandum of understanding and what the government was giving up. All that set of foolish talk long after the fact. But for the 5 years, 3 months, and 4 days, you know what? They were just vexed because Dr. Rowley was doing things behind the scene as opposition leader. As opposition leader, he was able to speak to Gordon Butchtrot and convince him to come and look to set up a Sandals here. And the UNC, for 5 years, 3 months, and 14 days, were in power and weren't able to do that. And the opposition leader, anticipating becoming prime minister, was able to do that. Ralph ain't gonna talk about that. This is not something Dr. Rowley did when he became prime minister. This is things that he was negotiating before he became prime minister. That's what you call a leader. You don't sit down and wait. And wait until when I get in office, then I will do this and then I will do that. They gave us Magdalena Grant or whatever it is, right? How did we benefit from that? But they're talking about put us back in office and we'll create the first indigenous hotel in Tobago and okay. Look, miss me with that is. Bunch of waste of time, people. Folks, thank you so much for joining me on this Sunday, Diwali. It's always a pleasure to chat with you all. Enjoy the rest of it. Everything in moderation. Don't overdo it with the curry and so on. Remember the flour. Too much flour ain't good for you. right? So I say, well, it's just for today, so I will cheat on my diet for today, and then tomorrow I will do an extra 15 or 20 minutes on the treadmill to burn an extra 300 calories. Come on, don't overdo it. All right? If you have the roti on Saturday, leave the parasat for tomorrow. And the kurma and whatever else. Angela says, Dr. Rowley, try sandals again. Who owns Carambola Resort in St. Croix? They're in power 2 years now. What are they doing about it? Tashia was saying they don't have any all-inclusive hotels in Tobago. Shame. Then he said, consummate that shameless, and classless ingrates. Correct. They don't want nothing good for Trinidad and Tobago. So only Bacchanal, that's all they offer. Kurt says, as allies, members, supporters, ministers, however, whoever you are, once you're affiliated to the UNC in any way, Bacchanal propaganda and nonsense and just plain foolishness is their portion. Indeed. Yeah. But all this government needs is just one more term. One more term, and you always see the end of Kamala Prasad Bisesa. And once she decides to go, whether it's by force or by choice, you will see the infighting in that party for leadership afterwards. That will finish off that party. Because the factions that they have that they want to talk, all they want, she's saying she don't know about it. She was interviewed on I-95 and saying it's all rumors and she don't know, but her sidekick, Ian Allen, Mr. White Glasses, has been dealing with that situation on his program for a couple of days now. He is talking about MPs and so on who have a cabal and doing things to try and undermine Mrs. Prasad Bisesa. So if it is she's saying that she telling Dale and Tony bring the evidence for her and whatnot, talk to Ian. You want the evidence? Call Ian Allen because he seems to have it and he know and he always know. So call he. It's in that hard. You have his number and he has yours. And if he's talking about it or if you don't want to call him, switch on to Synergy, I think he's on, and listen. It have plenty clips on social media, on Facebook with him talking about that and people doing things behind the woman back and all kind of thing and they're trying to get rid of her. So he knows. She pretended she don't know, but she know fully well and just wanted to deny it. And I'm certain that protest outside of Nagar was a wake-up call for her. So when she thinks she's so popular, I know Rowley this and Rowley that, and when every time they have something in Parliament, you bring two maxi loader people, the waterfront ilk to come and talk about Rowley must go, do not miru. And Rowley must go and all kind of thing and knocking pan and pot. Or Rowley must go. Well, the other night in Nagar, they were saying Kamala must go. Kamala must go. Long line of them. They weren't inclined to jump out the Prado and walk across and shake hand. They weren't interested in hearing what it is you have to say other than I resign. But hold on. Until after 2025 general election. After that, you could do whatever you want and we will see the implosion of that party. It's inevitable. Yeah? So all who trying to get the financiers to support their faction and their cabal, all that taking place because they realize she does not have the wherewithal. If you couldn't win with Jack is back and Captain Gary, if you couldn't win with them, what else you have? You declare your hand, so come 2025, what you coming to talk about? Huh? You're coming back with load up the matic and the state of the economy and things, we seeing things improving. Just go through today's Sunday Express, read the financials, the audited financials of all these banks, and more will be coming out soon. Even TCL declaring increase in profit, $110 million on all this kind of thing. Prestige Holdings, all of these companies, increase in revenue in an economy that's suffering, an economy that is on the brink, an economy that is in free fall. Really? Somebody need to send these news. Well, Ralph, I wonder if Ralph probably catch a... Well, let me not go there. If you read today's newspapers, the first couple pages, right? The very same newspaper in which his article is in, is telling him, you're talking BS. Yeah, the first few pages of today's Sunday Express, when you go in to read his article, you see, and you start turning pages, Ralph, you're talking BS. Ralph, you're a damn fool. Ralph, you're an idiot. Ralph, go and lie down. Today's Express. Folks, thank you all so much. Always a pleasure. Kurt says Jolene John has to prepare to be kicked out of the UNC to make room for Ian Allen. I wouldn't doubt that at all. Yeah, the man making moves. Yes, indeed, Pearl. Some people will only vote for their own. Yes, I agree with you. Leave Kamala right there. Let us stay there until 2025 and And then after that, anything can happen in the next 5 years because they will self-implode, and that will be the end of that party. They can then Gary might wise up and see if who he could salvage, because clearly the 150,000 that he say the NTA could attract from Congress of the people, they want nothing to do with it. And if he ain't realized that yet, well, I don't know. So enjoy your holiday tomorrow, folks. Those of us who would be sleeping off what we eat today. But as I said, everything in moderation, don't overdo it. God's willing, we will be back on Tuesday to continue our discussion on the goings on in Trinidad and Tobago. Sweet, sweet Trinidad and Tobago. And again, Shubh Diwali to the members of the Hindu community, and congratulations to, I will say it again, to the 825 young people who are now equipped with a skill that they could convert into income and self-employment. I hope that you all move to higher heights and that you don't stop there, but you look for other courses that you can do to improve your craft, and you can make a meaningful contribution to Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, and you have a government that is prepared to offer you all that you need to be able to do so. Forget the naysayers, nobody have to listen to them clowns who tell you earlier you only go to pick up gun and kill people and rob people. Forget them, right? And that you could only prosper under them. Them are nonsense. So Tuesday, folks, God's willing. Thank you all so much. Let me go and see. I have several invitations. I don't know. I'll go and see which one I'm gonna take up. But we will chat on Tuesday. Yeah. So enjoy the rest of your long weekend. I'm out.